Pinkett, 3 yards deep in the end zone, comes up with the football, and he'll take it down for a touchback as Morten Andersen is down on the field right away. Looks like he has a pulled muscle, Dave, and that would be a huge loss for them. Looks like a muscle in his back.
That's got to scare the heck out of Jim Mora, because that's their kickoff coverage right there. This man can cover kickoffs just by putting it in the end zone.
Here it is again. Andersen tees it up and kicks it away, and then he gets nailed right away by one of the Oilers. So they went down and blocked on him, and the Oilers on offense have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20. So a tough start for the Saints as Morten Andersen, as you see him right there, he's saying, okay, I'll be all right, as the trainers try and talk it over with him. Warren Moon, who has a sore right shoulder, has 2 backs in the backfield, Pinkett and Alonzo Highsmith. And this is Mike Rozier. Rozier out to the 25, spins out to the 26-yard line, and a good run on 1st down. The inside linebacker, Vaughn Johnson, is on the tackle. So it is not Pinkett in the starting lineup. Instead, it is Rozier, and he was questionable. Moon and Rozier both have bad shoulders. Wallace not in there at fullback. Instead, it is Highsmith, Hill, Gibbons, and Jamie Williams, the tight end. And there's the front line. Dean Steinkühler was also a late ad. He was questionable. They looked at him during the warm-ups, but he's okay, and he's in on that offensive lineup on that line, and that helps them. 2nd down, they give the ball off on the right side, and again it's Rozier. And Rozier goes out close to a 1st down. Tony Elliott, the nose tackle, out of North Texas State, makes the tackle. There you see Elliott. And on either side, Clark and Wilkes. Great linebackers for the Saints. Jackson, 5'9" and 3/4 inches tall, Sam Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling out of Georgia Tech. And the secondary, Dave Waymer with 5 interceptions out of Notre Dame, Jakes, a rookie Atkins, and Brett Maxey. 1st down for the Oilers on 2 successive running plays. It's Rozier and Highsmith. Set behind Warren Moon. Moon giving. It's Rozier. He's trapped. Gets away. No gain. Vaughn Johnson and Van Jakes come up and make the hit on Rozier, who was picking and looking, and he couldn't find anything to the outside.
Those linebackers cover every single hole there is. Now watch it. Watch as Rozier is coming out. There's no hole. There's no hole, and they're going to keep pursuing. The Saints can pursue. You will not be able to outrun those guys. They're going to run you down. You have to take the ball north and south against them.
So the guy that snuffed the play out initially was Jim Wilkes. He turned it to the outside, and then everybody else converged. 2nd down and 10. 5 defensive backs in the lineup now for New Orleans. 2 wideouts, Hill and Gibbons. Gibbons to the top of the screen, Hill at the bottom. That's Alan Pinkett out of Notre Dame into the lineup now for Houston, number 20. They give it to Alonzo Highsmith, the rookie out of Miami. Goes up close to the 35-yard line, and again, it's the inside linebacker, number 53, Vaughn Johnson, in on the tackle. So Rozier comes out of the game early. Pinkett comes in.
Well, they're going to give Rozier some breaks, but you see the idea right now. They want to run the ball. They haven't put it in the air. I still think Houston, in order to win the game, has to get the ball in the air to the wide receivers, but they think that big offensive line full of 1st-round draft picks can move the Saints. They have a chance, but they have to run right at them. They've got to move it like that.
So it's 3rd and 6. They'll have to put it up right now, you would think.
You would think.
Moon comes up to the line of scrimmage. He's got a sore shoulder, as we told you. That's Gibbons coming out in motion, and Moon's going to spend a timeout and go over and talk it over with Jerry Glanville. He has an impingement on the right shoulder. Before last week's game, Dave, in San Diego, against San Diego, he didn't throw at all during the practice week and threw very little this week. So they'll talk it over and come up with a 3rd and 6, Coach Jerry Glanville. 2nd full season, and has his team down the wire here in the hunt for the AFC Central Division title. They're at 7-5. They're 3rd and 6 when they come up to the line of scrimmage. Great job done by this man, Jim Mora. 2nd full season. There you see it. He's already turned it around and is looking for an NFC West title. 4 wide receivers in there on 3rd and 6 for the Oilers at the Houston 34-yard line. No shotgun. Moon looking, picking his way, throws, and the ball is caught by Willie Drury. They say he was out of bounds, and it's incomplete. And the Oilers sideline is hot.
That's not going to get you any more yards.
Little timing pattern, it looked like. He threw it over the outside shoulder to Drury.
They put him in man-to-man coverage. The Saints really they think that their secondary does not line up well man-to-man, but they gave a man-to-man look, and they couldn't complete the pass.
Jeff Gossett Putting for Houston. High snap, and he pulls it down. Mel Gray was dynamite last week. It's a short punt. It hits at the 37. A big New Orleans bounce. And then it's picked up by Toy Cook. And he brings it out to the 49-yard line. And I'll tell you, he only had one man to beat by the time he grabbed the football.
That's something that puts gray hair in a head coach's job. They really makes them nervous when they see somebody pick a ball.
New Orleans, take a look at the 3rd and 6 pass to Willie Drury.
There's 1 foot right there, inbounds, and 2 feet inbounds. Awful good play, but it doesn't count. He was inbounds. They missed the call.
A 20-yard punt by Jeff Gossett, a 3-yard return by Toy Cook, and look at the field position the Saints have. On 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Hebert, long count. Back, it's away, look out for Childress. There's a loose ball. Hebert will try and gather it back in, and I believe he did so. Let's wait and see. They are still fighting for that football.
I think this is round 1 of the Saints-Oilers fight here.
Hebert got away from the initial rush, and then Ray Childress from behind got him and knocked the ball loose. Hebert looked to have it corralled back in, and then it was still flipping through. But they say it is Saints ball, and they'll lose about 3 yards on the play. Here it is again.
Well, Bobby Hebert, one thing about Bobby is he can move out of the pocket and still throw. Notice how elusive he is, but you got to look out behind you. That's what happens. That's when quarterbacks drop the ball. Somebody hits them from behind. Now, number 67, Stan Brock, comes in, gets a little extra activity involved there.
Loss of 5, and they give the ball off to RUEBEN Mays. Mays fights his way out over the 45-yard line to the 46. And the tackle was made by John Grimsley, the linebacker, number 59. Hebert with RUEBEN Mays and Barry Ward, the rookie fullback, and had a good blocking week last week. Martin Jones and the tight end Brenner. The offensive line. Trapillo's a rookie out of Boston College. Didn't play last week. He had an ankle injury. He's in there this week, and they go along that right side a lot when they run, with Trapillo and Brock leading the way. 3rd down. Make it 13. Out of the shotgun, Hebert calling signals. 4 wide receivers. He's looking near sideline. Throws, and Martin makes the catch. He's down the sideline and might go. 20, 10, touchdown, Saints. A 54-yard touchdown pass from Bobby Hebert to that man, Eric Martin, on a 3rd down and long situation. And boy, they made it real long.
They got all the yards they needed that time.
Morten Andersen is 26 for 26 in point after attempts. Remember, he was injured on the opening kickoff. But he's back in there and right down the middle of the well. 3 plays, 51 yards. It took 1:20. Eric Martin made the
number 85, offense, 5 yards, retry.
Going to re-kick it, Hobie Brenner, number 85, illegal motion, so Morten Andersen will get another attempt to kick it through.
The New Orleans Saints are not known as a big play team, but Houston put them in a big play situation by coming with a blitz. Here comes Martin, and a missed tackle turns what would have been not a 1st down into a touchdown. I question the reason going with the blitz right off the bat, 3rd and 14. Let him catch the ball 8 yards downfield and make him punt.
So once number 27, Tony Newsome, didn't come up with the tackle, Martin was long gone down the near sideline. 54 yards. A little bit longer down the extra point try, but the same result. It's good, and Andersen looks as fit as a fiddle, doesn't he, after he had the injury on the opening kickoff. Martin's the hero. We're back with you at the Superdome as we take our first check on this afternoon in the NFL. Buffalo leading Indianapolis. The Colts took a 1-game lead in the AFC Eastern Division into that game. Cincinnati jumps out over Cleveland. That's of interest to the Oilers because Cleveland and the Oilers and Pittsburgh are all tied. On the kickoff by Andersen, it will go out of bounds, and the flag will go down. So they can take the ball in good field position out of the 35-yard line.
Automatically 1st down on the 35-yard line for Houston.
There you go. So Morten Andersen trying to get it into that corner. Almost had it. It just went out at about the 1.
Well, you wonder if Morten Andersen was worried about that guy kicking him. He didn't look like it. It was a missed kick. Morten Andersen is probably the best kickoff man in the NFL. And that time he didn't do it.
Last week against Tampa Bay, he was putting them 6-7 yards deep into the end zone.
Takes a lot of pressure off your coverage team.
Really does. 1st and 10 after the penalty. It goes out to the 35-yard line. That new rule this year that you can take it right at the 35 if the kickoff goes out of bounds. And let's see what the Oilers can do. Looked like they were shortchanged on that 3rd down pass play with Willie Drury having both feet in. But the pass was rolled incomplete. 81, Gibbons in motion. Moon on a fake to Rozier. Goes back to Rozier. So they have it set up. Out toast to the 39-yard line. There's a flag down as they were manhandling that man on the outside to get Rozier by. They were grabbing Tony Elliott. Holding called against the Oilers on that block trying to get Rozier to the outside.
If there's one thing I noticed about the Saints, reviewing their films, is other teams seem to have number 52, offense, 10 yards, still first down. And don't do that again. Other teams seem to get great position on the New Orleans Saints defense, but the linebackers make unbelievable plays. They come from nowhere to stop what looks like a great play.
Bad week last week when you get that many penalties. Good week on the scoreboard, though, as they beat the Chargers 33-18. That penalty was on 52, Jay Pennison. A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Right now, Saints lead 7-0. After the penalty, it's 1st and 20. For Houston back at their 25-yard line. Moon out of the shotgun. Gets a block from Rozier to the outside and fires across the middle, and it's caught by Drew Hill out at the 45-yard line. And Brett Maxey and Van Jakes are in on the coverage after a 21-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Off a good throw that time. Warren Moon's shoulder does not seem to be bothering him. The Oilers get almost all the yards to Drew and Gibbons. Now, they're running. You're going to see a zone defense here. Drew Hill is down the field deep. Throw past the linebackers in front of the secondary. Good catch.
Good help on the outside by Rozier on the pass blocking situation. He picked up 73, Frank Warren, coming in off the left defensive end spot. Hill's had a good year. 21-yard pass play, and it's a 1st down. 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Little option play, little fumble. Is it going to go out of bounds? Yes, Rozier knocked it out of bounds. He'll actually gain a couple of yards on the play.
Pulling out all stops.
So Moon went down the line of scrimmage, then flipped it back on the quarterback option. Fumble was knocked out by Rozier. Houston holds on to possession. Again, now we check in. Buffalo leading over Indianapolis. Now the Patriots over the Jets 7-3. Dallas and Washington scoreless. Bengals jump out 3-0. The Browns have lost 2 games in a row. They've had trouble scoring. 2nd down and 8. 5 defensive backs in the lineup for the Saints. Out of the shotgun, here's Moon. Warren, plenty of time. Going long. He has Gibbons out there. Incomplete at the 8. Van Jakes on the coverage for the Saints, along with Johnny Poe. So it will be 3rd down and 8 for Warren Moon and the Oiler offense.
That's what the Oilers want to do. They want to throw the ball deep. 3 receivers. Where are they going to go?
I would think to that side, right?
Gibbons comes out running down the field. Now, this is a foot race. Van Jakes is not as fast as Gibbons, but the ball is overthrown. If you're going to if you're going to miss the receiver, that's where to do it, over. But they had an opportunity to score right there.
Gibbons kind of with emotion there, holding up his hand, saying to Van Jakes, you have to know that I had you beat on that play. Crowd rising now as it's 3rd down and 8. 6 defensive backs in there for the Saints. 4 wide receivers. Good time for Moon. And again, he's going long. And again, he overthrows his receiver. And this time, it's Haywood Jeffries, the rookie out of North Carolina State.
Well, the Saints can't seem to get the Moon. Great pass protection. I think the Saints are fortunate. Those are 2 open receivers for big plays.
Jeff Gossett comes in for his 2nd punt attempt as we take a look at Jeffries running off. Gossett had a bad first one, 20 yards. And it gave the Saints great position. Back deep. Oh, this guy's lightning in a bottle. Mel Gray had 130 yards returning punts last week. Again, it's a short punt with a better bounce, though. But not all that good, was it? Out to the 23.5-yard line, and the Saints have the football there, 1st and 10. So we'll see what Hebert and the Saints can do. Second possession for them. They're all outrageous as Brian Bosworth and the Seahawks go head-to-head with Jim McMahon and the Bears. Then most of you will see the Dogs of Cleveland nip at the heels of Bo Jackson and the LA Raiders, plus regional action. It's a doubleheader Sunday next Sunday, and it all begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with NFL Live. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area, all here on NBC Sports. Out near their own 24-yard line, Bobby Hebert struck for a 54-yard touchdown pass to Eric Martin on their first possession, and he has the Saints set down. On first down, RUEBEN Mays. 3 yards out to the 27-yard line. Jeff Donaldson, who did not start, comes in there, number 31, to make the tackle. Donaldson has a deep bruise above his knee. As you look close at RUEBEN Mays, who has not had a 100-yard rushing game since November 1st. There's Donaldson. 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard gain. Mays, the lone back in the backfield. Tight end, 82, John Tice, to the top of the screen in a slot. Hebert. Throwing. Wide open. Mark Patterson makes the catch. And he's in Houston territory, down to the 47-yard line. Patrick Allen drove him out, a 26-yard pass play. Hebert is red hot so far. Here it is again.
He has a good protection there. Now notice this man's wide open. Just wide open. You know, the Saints can throw the short pass well. I don't think they can hit the ball deep, but if they're allowed to throw this way, they're going to move the ball and they're going to beat the Oilers up.
Patterson, after the catch, goes to the top of the screen. They have 3 tight ends in the lineup now. There's one of them in motion. That's John Tice. Hobie Brenner and Cliff Benson are the others. Mays goes to the 45-yard line as they run left. Grimsley and Johnny Meads are in on the tackle. 59 Grimsley, who's playing injured. 91 Meads. 2nd down coming up for the Saints.
Oilers have been, outside of 2 plays, the Oilers have been playing very good defense. But they just have to be consistent. The Oilers, if they do one thing wrong, they're inconsistent.
They trail 7-0 as Hebert brings his team up. 2nd down and 8. 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen for the Saints. The fake to Mays. Across the middle, we have a flag down as the pass is caught at the 40-yard line. The catch made by Eric Martin. We'll check out the penalty situation. Here it is. Illegal block.
What this may be, we're going to find out what this is.
Personal foul, chop block, number 66 and 72, offense. 15 yards, still 2nd down.
2 of them.
Well, what you can't do, one person can't be engaged with a defender and have another lineman hit him below the waist. And what that is, you set a man up to cut him. They used to injure people that way, and they say now if one person is engaged with a defender, nobody else can hit his legs.
So it's on the left tackle, Jim Dombrowski, and the left guard, Chuck Comiskey. 15 yards, that's a heavy one. Puts them back deep in their own territory, and look at that, 2nd and 23. Eric Martin, top of the screen, a rookie, Lonzel Hill out of Washington, number 87, is down at the bottom of your screen. Backs are split. Fullback Barry Ward gets the call. Out to the 40, out to the 42, and again, another flag is thrown in the area of holding. And it is. Saints going the wrong way, Dave.
This is not typical Saints football. You can't win this way. It doesn't take a genius to tell you that.
Number 61, offense, still 2nd down.
It's a team effort now. Every single person is doing a different job.
Joel Hilgenberg, the center, picks up that penalty.
He's blocking number Smith, number 99. Now he gets by him. And he says, buddy, you aren't going where you want to go. And the official says, yeah, but I'm going to give you 10 yards.
So that makes it 2nd and 33. right. Bobby Aber saying, let me see what I can do here now. 2nd down, 33. 4 wide receivers. 25 Keith Bostic showed blitz and then bounced back for the Oilers. The catch is made by Patterson. And Patterson goes out over the 35-yard line. And we've got some more activity going on now as Dombrowski gets into a shoving match with 79 Ray Childress of the Oilers. And they're pulling Dombrowski back. The Saints offensive line, I think, feels a little bit picked on here because they've had a couple of penalties called on them early in this drive.
I get the idea they just don't like each other.
I think maybe you've really surmised that pretty well. No flag on that play, and the ball goes out over the 35-yard line to the 37, and it's 3rd down and a bundle. 7-0 Saints lead on a 54-yard touchdown pass on their first possession from Aber to Eric Martin. 2 to the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom of the screen. Passing formation on 3rd down. 27 yards to go for a Saints first down. He's got time. Looks like somebody got a hand on that ball when he was releasing it. And it falls incomplete. And they will punt. Brian Hansen will come in and punt. 10-minute ticker time. Those scores remain consistent. The Bills still leading. Washington moves ahead of Dallas 7-0. Minnesota, Green Bay. That affects the Saints. If the Vikings lost here today and the Saints won, almost blocked on the Hansen punt. Fair catch called for, and the catch is made by Kenny Johnson out near his own 25-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Oilers. If the Vikings lost today and the Saints won this game, that would lock up home field advantage in a wild card game for the Saints.
The only thing that's important is that we as broadcasters and the fans think about that, but the guys in the field don't worry about it because that's not part of the game plan.
Ball out at the 25-yard line. There's your score, 7-0. First quarter, 5:27 left to go in that first quarter. The Oilers, the last time, Dave, they went big twice on long pass plays and were just incomplete on both of them, but they had open receivers. Warren Moon did not look like the sore shoulder was affecting him as he overthrew both men. This is Rozier. And he'll get a couple of tough yards and gets pushed back. 57. Jackson in on the tackle. Ricky Jackson along with Tony Elliott. There's New Orleans situation. Now they still feel they have a shot at San Francisco. 49ers, of course, play tomorrow night. In the Monday night game, they'll take on the Bears. But there are the Saints, and with their division situation, 4-1, too. Gain of 3 yards on that last play. 2nd down and 7. Alan Pinkett, number 20, in motion. Almost had Wilkes jumping off. In fact, I think he did. Number 94 on that right outside started to move for the Saints. We'll see if he was drawn off, though.
Well, if they stop the play, it could be procedure.
Offense.
Oh,
5 yards.
took too much time.
Yeah, they won't stop the play on a defensive offside. It has to be an offensive penalty for them to stop the play.
Oilers coach Jerry Glanville was just happy to put some kind of healthy team out on the field. When we talked to him yesterday, they just had injury after injury. Here's the AFC Central picture. Cleveland had the 1-game lead until they lost last week, and Houston and Pittsburgh won, so they're all tied up at 7-5. And Cincinnati could play spoiler today as they play Cleveland in Cleveland. After the penalty, Rozier sweeping. Turns the corner well and gets out over the 25-yard line, and another flag. They throw it down on 39, Brett Maxey, as he hit Rozier out of bounds.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, 39 defense. First up.
You have to wonder if this team, with their success and their clinching the division, isn't causing too much excitement. Let's take a look to see what we would have called, like it makes a difference.
Yeah, he's out of bounds there. And gets hit right there.
This is a beef of mine. If a receiver's going out of bounds, they can go out of bounds diagonally. When they turn up the field going out of bounds, it's difficult for the defender to know if they're trying to gain more yardage or are actually out of bounds.
They get the first down after the penalty, and they're out over their own 40. Look out, Moon better get rid of it, and he does. Jamie Williams had the ball thrown on the wrong side. Pat Swilling was right in Warren Moon's face. Swilling came into the game with 8.5 sacks, and there he is.
One of the 4 great linebackers they have, a young kid, he's a physical specimen, can really cause trouble. But Warren Moon has to be able to get the ball to Jamie Williams here. Now, he's getting pressure, but look at this man. I mean, just get the ball to him. That's the 3rd pass that Warren Moon could have completed. That would have been a big play.
He almost had another one on that last play. Pat Swilling. 2nd down. They run it, and it's Rozier. Short of midfield, the nose tackle, Tony Elliott, stuffs the play up the middle.
Stuffed it after 6 yards. The Houston Oilers like that play. If they can get 6 yards on 1st down running, it's going to be an awful tough offense to stop.
Rozier has come out running well, don't you think? We'll see if he can get 100 yards against the Saints defense. Those great backs have not been able to have much success running the football against the Saints. Craig played them twice and couldn't do it. Pollard came close with 74. Rozier tries today. 3rd down and 4. Moon. Oh, a drop across the middle by the rookie Jeffries. He was wide open at the New Orleans 40. He has to make that catch.
That's 4 plays. 4 big possible plays that the Oilers could have made. The Oilers have the talent on the offense. They've got to finish their plays off. They have to complete them.
Moon leaves, and here's the replay. Look at 84, Jeffries. Oh.
And the ball should have been caught. And that, a play like that, here comes the punt. We'll talk about this later.
Gossett gets away a better punt. This is his best of the afternoon so far, and it goes into the end zone, avoiding Mel Gray. So Gossett gets that one away, but missed opportunities on the passing situations so far for Houston. And they continue to trail 7-0. Gossett has found new life in Houston after being cut a couple of weeks ago by Cleveland.
You got to kind of feel sorry for Gossett. The one time when he boomed the ball, he gets 20 yards taken off by bringing it back out to the 20, so he can't win for losing.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. Ball is out at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Houston Oilers, and New Orleans Saints, all rights reserved. Bobby Hebert with his Saints leading 7-0. And the former LSU Tiger, Dalton Hilliard, can't get out of the grasp of number 91, Johnny Meads, and he'll get short yardage on the play. It's a nice little tandem they have in the backfield, Dave, with Hilliard and RUEBEN Mays. Mays had such a big year last year. This is Hilliard's 2nd year, just like Mays.
Both good runners. Hilliard is also a good receiver. Gives them a little bit extra dimension to their offense.
Eric Martin to the top of the screen along with Lonzel Hill. Mike Jones down at the bottom of the screen. 3 wide receivers. 2nd down and long. Hebert feels the pressure, throws, trying to sneak it in there for Lonzel Hill, and it's incomplete. Dave, you mentioned something yesterday about number 3 there, Bobby Hebert, that a lot of times he'll step into the pocket, up into the pocket when he feels the pressure. He did that in that situation.
Some quarterbacks flush out of the pocket. By flush, I mean when they feel the pressure, they fly like a bird, and they fly backwards. They go behind. Bobby Hebert has the ability of stepping up through the creases in the pocket instead of continuing to drop back. It stops the big loss, and it also puts pressure on the defense.
Passing situation on 3rd and 8. 2:38 left to go, 1st quarter. Saints leading 7-0. Long count, might have checked off. Again, the step up, look out from behind, but he does unload, and a 1st down out over the 45-yard line as Hebert got crunched, and you're looking at pain.
They really think this kid has come up. Talking to Stan Brock, their offensive tackle, they say Bobby Hebert has really been showing an increase in maturity here. Look at him look around. This is the second receiver. Now watch. The defender has to read the receiver's eyes to see the ball's coming. The defender never saw it. The receiver saw the ball. He caught it. The defender has to know when the ball's coming, at least get his hand up.
25 yards and a first down. Hebert hung right in there. Ball out at the 47-yard line. 2:32 left to go, first quarter. There's a flag going down as there was some movement. And the pitch out to Hilliard.
Looked like Hobie Brenner jumped fast. Bobby Hebert's upset.
He's hot, isn't he?
One time, that was a quick count.
False start, number 63, offense, still first down.
One thing about a quick count, sometimes the team will come up and they want to snap it rapidly, and the offensive line is trying to anticipate the first sound, and sometimes the first sound isn't from the quarterback. It might be a defensive call. It could be even a fan yelling loud, but the first sound, if it isn't the right sound, you're having offsides.
Well, the Jets jump out, the Patriots over the Jets 14-3 now. And Minnesota leading Green Bay 7-0, and the Bengals still holding on to that 3-0 lead. First down and 15 after the penalty. They run out of an I formation. And RUEBEN Mays to the 45, and always looking for that extra yard. He puts that arm out there trying to get an extra 2. Let's see where they give him. Spot him out over the 45-yard line. Hilgenberg with a pretty good block there to get Mays through. Hilgenberg, the center, 4th year out of Iowa. Tackle was made by Richard Byrd. 2:08, clock running, left to go, first quarter. The Saints winners of 6 in a row, going for number 7 here this afternoon and leading 7-0 over the Oilers. The Oilers 7-5. Barry Worry. Good play by the Oiler defense. Richard Byrd, Ray Childress, and Johnny Meads were all there as they smothered that play. They've done a nice job, I think, Dave, so far, shutting down the run. They just have given up big pass plays.
This play never gets going. As you can see, it's a counter play. Word takes a step in the wrong direction at first, but there's penetration. They're all in their backfield. Nobody ever got on them. The Oilers are playing good football outside of a few plays. They really should be winning this game.
Third down, and this is the down that's been killing them so far. They've given up big pass plays, and it's going to take a big one here to get a first down. 3rd and 12 out of the shotgun. Hebert going long. Pretty good position there, and no flag. Excellent coverage by 29, Patrick Allen. He's saying, as a matter of fact, he was grabbing me. The Saints fans wanted the flag thrown on Allen. Allen gets up and tells the official the wide receiver was all over me.
The best thing an official can do is stay out of the play. Keep the flag in your pocket. He's playing the ball. Now, if a man has coverage that close, you have to expect some form of collision, and the official did the right thing. Let the ball players play the game.
Brian Hansen to punt. Second punt of the afternoon for him. He stands back at his 30. Kenny Johnson back deep for the Oilers. Big high punt by Hansen. Let's see if it dies. Yes, it does. Sideways and inside the 10. Great job by Hansen as Joe Colbrand goes down and makes the touch. And the Oilers start deep in their own territory after a 48-yard punt by Hansen. The opening game of the season, number 10, Hansen, was a big reason that the Saints beat the Cleveland Browns. He had them pinned deep in their own territory the whole afternoon.
You noticed on the replay there, the receiver tried to make a fair catch up in the middle of the field, but that's an educated football. It knew where to put its nose so it didn't go in the end zone.
And there's Colbrand, an excellent special teams player, coming out to make the touch from the 8-yard line now. The Oilers trailing 7-0. We're underneath a minute to go in the first quarter, 53 seconds, and Moon's going to go big again. He's picking on a man down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Drew Hill and Dave Waymer had good coverage on the play. 2nd and 10.
That time it looked as if the ball was there, but for the first time, the defender was there also.
1 for 7 for 21 yards. Here it is again. Waymer, 44 on the coverage.
One thing Waymert did that saved him from the pass interference penalty, he turned his head around to look for the football. As long as you're looking for the ball, you're not going to get the call.
All right, the crowd trying to get that St. defense to get the Oilers to turn it over. Rozier to the 10, to the 12, and the tackle made by Swilling.
And a holding penalty.
And there's a flag down, so the Oilers could be going back if what Dave says is true, and I trust him. There you go.
Holding, number 63, offense, decline. Third down.
They will refuse the penalty. Mike Munchak hit with the holding call. 41 seconds to go, first quarter. It sets up a third down. And there you see Jerry Glanville on the sideline. Things have not moved smoothly so far offensively for his team, and they probably can't get too tricky down here. 3rd and 5. Rozier to the 15, and that's the end of that play. And they must punt.
Boy, if you want to talk about some defensive speed, watch number 56 Swilling here. He's set off like a rocket. Boom, and he's going to get it from behind. Now, there were other ball players there too to help him, but he was the additional thing necessary that his speed made him have that play.
That's the end of the first quarter here at the Superdome. And the Saints have their fans roaring as they lead for the New Orleans Saints, already in the playoff picture. Jim Mora, the toast of New Orleans. 7-0 Saints lead. Jim Donovan, Dave Casper here from the sold-out Superdome. It's 4th down as we come back for the first play of the second quarter. And Jeff Gossett will punt from his own 1. Saints scored on a 54-yard pass play from Bobby Hebert to Eric Martin. The Oilers have been throwing long and deep and have had a couple of receivers out there open, but Warren Moon and the receivers have not been able to make connections yet. Mel Gray stands back deep for the Saints as Gossett rides it out of there. Big high punt. Gray. Oh, he's got a wall. And he goes all the way down to the Houston 42-yard line. Tackle made by Eugene Seal. This is the first year that man, 37 Mel Gray, has returned punts, and he's doing very well.
They're really hoping a lot for Mel Gray because they needed a punt returner, and they were hoping that he had the skills to be able to catch the ball. And that's what he does, catches the ball. That's the first thing you have to do. Notice how well this is set up. Nobody even gets in his space for 15 yards. This could have been even a bigger play.
Great field position now after a 42-yard punt by Gossett. 7-0 Saints lead. Flag down there as RUEBEN Mays carries the ball off the right side. And we'll wait and see what the call is here. And it's on the defense as they jumped off.
Looked like Doug Smith got a little anxious. It's often tough for a nose guard to jump offside.
Offside, number 99, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
And that's who it is, Doug Smith. But he's looking right at the ball. You would think that he wouldn't be able to be faked by anything. When the ball moves, he should move.
Oilers running the ball for 35 yards. 54 of the 107 yards passing came on the touchdown pass. Time of possession, very close. 31 yards passing, though, for Houston. Well, it's 1st and 5 after the penalty. Now it's inside the 40. Oh, Mays has the horn, has the first down, and has yardage down inside the 30 to the 25. Trapillo at right guard with a huge block to get him through. Tackle made by the safety, number 31, Jeff Donaldson.
Just what you call a sprint draw. Watch him take a sideways motion first. He goes sideways, which makes the defense go sideways. Now they say, let's go right at him, and there's nobody there. Good line blocking. But you notice that Mays took the sideways step first. You get the defense flowing so that they can't attack you, then you attack them.
61 Hilgenberg also had a good block, the center for the Saints. First down, inside the 30. Good play right there by Doug Smith. Yes, he was in the backfield when Rueben Mayes got the handoff.
You can't let a man free. You cannot let a defensive man go free because he can really hurt a running back. In the middle of your screen, number 99, Doug Smith. Dombrowski blocks down and picks off Hilgenberg. The blocker got picked off him, and he comes clean, and he really manhandles him.
They lose just about a yard, and it's second down and 11. Buffalo moves ahead 10-0 now, and the Patriots laying it on the Jets, up 21-3. Cleveland goes ahead of Cincinnati 7-3, and the Packers tie up the Vikings 7-all. Second and 11. The rush from the outside. Loose ball on the field, I believe, as Hebert got stripped and then got it back. For the second time, he got hit and lost the ball, and for the second time, he recovers his own fumble. As the Oilers got a fine pass rush on him, and it sets up a third down and long situation.
The Oilers have been just inches away from turning this game around a few times. Bobby Hebert, he's back in he's just looking for receiver. Everybody's covered. Again, the man usually comes from behind. You've always got to watch that. You need some kind of a eye in the back of your head.
91, Johnny Meads was the man that came from the outside and knocked the ball away. Third down and 14. Patterson and Hill to the near side. They'll run it. Hilliard. And he is trapped right away. Keith Bostic made the tackle. So it will be Morten Andersen coming on the field for the Saints to try and kick a long one, but he's very capable of it. This is the best in the game.
Excellent kicker. I'm sure they consider this almost a shoo-in as far as a field goal.
He's 21 out of 27 on the season. They'll spot it at the 38-yard line for a 48-yard field goal try.
It's a gimme.
Hansen holds. On its way.
Well, maybe not a gimme.
It's no good. Morten Andersen misses from 48-yard lines. The great Swami and I will be back at the Superdome with lead 7-0. Alonzo Highsmith loses the football, and Warren Moon recovers at the 30-yard line as the Saints almost had the turnover. Jim Wilkes had it right on his arm, but couldn't gather it in. Highsmith, Dave, really never had the handoff, did he?
Well, we'll take a look here.
And Bobby Hebert will have fine field position to work with. Here it is. This is smothered.
The punting game is going to be the death of the Houston Oilers, as it has been. Take your pick. Take your pick. It could have been blocked by Jakes. It could have been blocked by number 40.
Yeah, I think it was Adams got it.
Either one of them could have gotten it. It wasn't well blocked.
First and goal at the 7. 82, John Tice caught 2 touchdown passes last week in this kind of situation. Hebert rolling. Oh, almost picked off by Patrick Allen as they were trying to slip it in there for Mark Patterson.
Good defense.
9:23 to go in the half. Watch Allen. He's in good field position to pick it off. So it's second down and goal, and Hebert has to let out a sigh of relief that he's even coming up to the line of scrimmage for a second down after that play. 7-0 Saints lead. Here we go. Second and goal. Hilliard in the backfield. Corner of the end zone. Throwing it for Patterson. And he tried to loop around the back line and come around the back of 29, Patrick Allen, to make the catch. And again, it's incomplete. Patrick Allen has to feel picked on here.
Well, they like him, but the Houston Oilers don't like him. They're shutting him down. Third
down and goal. The Oiler defense hanging in there. Number 38 is Domingo Bryant. A defensive back comes in. Big play for the Saints now on third down and goal, and defensively, the same for the Oilers after the block punt. Saints are thinking 6. Oilers trying to hold them to just get a field goal out of this. Bostic on the rush. touchdown combination of the day for Hebert to Martin. This one a 7-yard touchdown pass. The block punt turns into a touchdown pass from Hebert to Eric Martin. And here it is again. Martin wide open, makes the catch, beats Domingo Bryant, and it's 14. Jim Donovan and Dave Casper back with you at the Superdome. The picture you're looking at is the new addition to the Casper family. Introduce him.
You like that? That's Andy. I named him after Andy Doris, who played with me with the Houston Oilers.
And Mom and Andy are doing well, right?
Yes. And so is Andy, who happens to live outside of Houston.
14-0. Saints are doing very well. And Morten Andersen, and that's more like a typical Morten Andersen kickoff as he bangs it through the end zone. And it will be a touchback, 1st and 10, Oilers at the 20-yard line. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WDSU, TV6, New Orleans' first television station.
14-0 Saints lead over Houston. Jim Donovan and Dave Casper with you at the Superdome in New Orleans. Warren Moon and the Oilers need some offense, and they need it quickly to stay in this thing. The Saints would like to make them a first-half victor. Nice run. Mike Rozier still going out near the 28-yard line. Brett Maxey makes the tackle after an 8-yard pickup. It will be 2nd down and 2, and we go around the NFL now and check in on the scores. Jets had a field goal but still trail 21-6. Dolphins and Eagles tied. Browns lead over the Bengals 14-3. Remember, the Browns, Oilers, and Steelers all came into the day tied at 7-5 in the Central Division. Warren Moon trailing 14-0. Wallace, the fullback, out of Purdue, 2nd-year man, out to the 40-yard line and a 1st down. Ray Wallace doesn't get the ball all that often, but he looked pretty good there. 8:23 left to go in the first half. Here it is again.
Offensive line getting movement. They just had, there's a little crease there. Wallace finds it. Good job by the offensive line. That's 2 plays in a row where they've gotten good movement, good running, and moved the ball 15 yards without taking a chance.
Jim Wilkes is down injured, and they're taking a look at his left knee. We'll check out his situation, and we'll come back with 8:20 left to go. Here in the left of field under his own power, they're checking the left knee. As we bring you back to field level, 1st and 10 for the Oilers. They did it with the run as they punch it out to their own 40-yard line. That's Alan Pinkett in motion. A flag is down as Pinkett makes the catch at the 45 onto the 47-yard line. 7 yards on the play. Let me correct that. I thought I saw a flag, and I didn't. One of those many gold things falling here.
Well, they
at the Superdome.
They have these gold printout sheets that they have that they're sending down with these paper airplanes. It looks like some kind of gold art monsters coming out of the sky.
Thanks for kicking me out of that.
Yeah, you blew it.
2nd down and 3. Rozier for the 1st down and more as he gets inside Saints territory, driven out of 46 by Brett Maxey. And they're doing it consistently with the running game. Rozier getting through with the run. And it's a 1st down now for the Oilers. They were trying to do it with the passing game early. That wasn't clicking. They fell behind 14-0. And with 7:53 to go in the half, they're inside New Orleans territory. Late addition now into the Houston backfield. Alan Pinkett comes back in. Rozier checks out. It's Pinkett and Wallace in the backfield. Now Pinkett heads out. Across the middle, and the tight end, Jamie Williams, cannot hang on at the 36-yard line, and Moon has had a couple of drops. Now I'm positive there is a flag down against Houston.
Illegal use of the hands, a jam to the face, number 35. Offense, still 1st down.
That's Ray Wallace, the fullback.
The officials do not like that jam to the face. They've been calling that a lot this year. I often thought if I hit a guy in the face, it was his fault for putting his face in my way.
Markoff brings the ball inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line, and back in their own territory.
You know, there's no rule against ducking out there. There's no penalty for ducking. You can always do it. So you have the choice of ducking sometimes.
1st and 20. Rozier back in the backfield now. He's the tailback. Moon fires, and Ernest Gibbons gets nailed, and a flag is thrown. Ernest Gibbons, number 81, was there, and number 44, Dave Waymer, drilled him from behind, and they called the penalty on Waymer.
Interference, number 44, defense, first down.
And you hear what the Superdome crowd thinks of that call.
Dave Waymer was there. He had good coverage, but he just gets become a little bit anxious. He overtimes his jump. He comes in too early. What he really was called for was before he jumped, he had his hands on Gibbons' back. And then he jumped, and he really just had to be a little bit more careful because the coverage was excellent as it was.
Deepest penetration now for the Oilers at the New Orleans 38. Rozier changes directions nicely, and he'll make a pretty good run play out of this one up near the 31. Starting outside left, then cut it back up the middle. Philadelphia moves ahead of Miami 10-7 on our scoreboard. Washington has added to their lead over Dallas. Cleveland 21-3 over Cincinnati, and the Vikings and Packers remain tied in the second quarter 7-7. Ball is at the 31-yard line. 2nd down and 3. 7 on the running play for Mike Rozier. 14-0 Saints on 2 Hebert to Eric Martin touchdown passes. Rozier again. And he fights his way up near a first down, close to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Brett Maxey and Gene Atkins. 6:50 left in the first half. Oilers need points. Would love to get it in for 7 here to cut the lead in half. They did get the first down, so it's 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 27. Well, this crowd loves to get this defense going. Every play they build when that defensive team gets set down. Moon has his man, and Drew Hill almost snuck away and went the distance, but he'll go out at the 10-yard line with Van Jakes over there on the coverage for the Saints. A 16-yard pass play, and it's a first down for the Oilers at the 11-yard line.
The Saints just haven't been able to stop the first down run of the Oilers, so now the Oilers are choosing to throw when they want to. And boy, is it a difference to throw against the Saints when you want to throw than when you have to, because they can't really load up the outside linebackers and blitz you.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Rozier goes inside the 10 as he veers off the left side of his offensive line and gets a couple of yards down to the 9. Again, it's Brett Maxey in there, along with 51 Sam Mills and Vaughn Johnson, the 2 inside linebackers, helping out on the tackle of Rozier. 5:25, clock running. The Oilers have 2 timeouts left. They used 1 early. 2nd down. They can get a first down at the 1. Moon throwing for the tight end, Jamie Williams, right at the post, and it's incomplete. On the coverage was Ricky Jackson and Gene Atkins. 3rd down now for the Oilers. This has got to be a tough area, though, to throw down here. You just don't have an awful lot of room.
Well, the problem with that pass, which is obvious, Jamie Williams couldn't keep running because he would have ran out of the end zone. So you can't loft it over the man. You got to drill it to him, and there's no room to throw the ball on the line.
Jim Mora hoping those linebackers now can tee off on Warren Moon on 3rd and 7 from the 8-yard line. The timing pattern incomplete. Willie Drury. He wants a flag but won't get it. And the Oilers will have to bring on Zendejas to try and kick a field goal. There's Drury pleading his case. the side judge, listening.
You make the call. Dave Waymer, he's reading them. Drury looks back. Waymer reads his eyes, and he's going to get in the play. Hey, it's good coverage if you ask me. This is football, guys. There's a little bit of contact out there sometimes. You got to catch the ball.
A 27-yard field goal attempt by Zendejas. Gossett holding. And it's good, and there's a flag down, too. 4:57 to go here in the first half. The Oilers appear to have their first points, but we check out the flag. Dick Jorgensen getting it all straightened out. The referee, and he will soon tell us. And now they're going to talk it over with the Oilers. That's Jamie Williams, the tight end.
We have a leverage foul on number 73 defense, running forward behind the line of scrimmage and jumping to block the field goal. Half the distance to the goal, first up.
Whoa, a big play on Frank Warren. A leverage foul. Running behind the line of scrimmage, trying to block the field goal. There he is, I think, right
at the bottom of the screen, number 73. He runs, and he jumps. And they said, no, you can't do that.
So it's first and goal for the Oilers, and instead of 3, they'll get a chance now to put it in again and have 4 cracks at it. Jim Moore saying, let's forget about it. Let's play some defense. And the crowd will make it very hard for Warren Moon to change any plays up at the line of scrimmage. Rozier running. Oh, he got belted at the 3. Pat Swilling laid the lumber on Mike Rozier.
Who dat hit that guy?
Rozier's saying that. Who hit me?
Right, who dat hit me? Who that say the Saints can't hit? Watch Rozier. He's going to turn up, and there's going to be one of those linebackers that's going to come in there.
It's Swilling.
Swilling
and Mills.
There's some good linebackers. Boy, they really tagged you.
Second down and goal. Really no gain on that last play for Rozier. Saints lead 14-0. Everybody up on that line of scrimmage. Moon likes to run from here. He'll throw instead, and it's incomplete. Knocked away by Vaughn Johnson. The intended receiver was Alonzo Highsmith.
Boy, that's good coverage. Good coverage. The crowd loves it.
And on every one of these big plays, as you said, it's a linebacker making those plays. Swilling made the hit along with Mills on Rozier, and on this one, Vaughn Johnson.
Look at 53 where he looked for he went for the run fake first. Now Moon has outside leverage, yet Vaughn Johnson gets back in the play to cover a man. So he first had to look for the run, then he had to make sure that Moon wasn't running in the end zone and still cover a man. It's a lot of concentration.
56, Pat Swilling urging the crowd on. Third down and goal from the 4. Houston trying to get on the board, trailing 14-0. Moon fires, and it's incomplete. Ernest Gibbons was the intended receiver. Johnny Poe was there for the Saints. And after all of that, they'll try and settle for 3.
Watch how much time that Warren Moon has to throw this ball. They've got him double covered, but Gibbons is working hard. He gets open. Could have been knocked away. That Warren Moon shouldn't have even had that much time to throw the ball. Great pass protection.
Zendejas from 22 yards out. It's good, but what a job done by the Saints defense. And they get a standing ovation. Look at them as they march off. You know, never has anyone offered such a College Bowl lineup as this year on NBC, starting with the Fiesta Bowl as number 5 Nebraska takes on number 3 Florida State, followed by the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, as number 16 Southern Cal challenges number 8 Michigan State. Then it's the national championship to determine who really is number 1, as number 1 Oklahoma visits the Eye of the Hurricane, and number 2 Miami in the Orange Bowl. It all begins at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on New Year's Day. The best and the brightest play here on NBC Sports. What a lineup. 14 plays, 76 yards. It took 5:19, and they get 3 out of it. Demoralizing?
Well, if I were the Houston Oilers, I would say to myself, look, we know that we can go man-to-man with the Saints, and we're just as good of a team talent-wise. All we have to do is stay in this game and allow our talent and our power and our strength to wear these Saints down. So you can't look at they only got 3 points. They're on the board, and that's important.
3:56 to go in the half. There's Mel Gray. And Zendejas kicking off. High kick. Gray runs up, bumps into his own man at the 20, and that will take that run back and put it down on the ground. Bo Eason is in on the tackle, number 21 for Houston.
Pretty good coverage. The toughest thing to do on a kickoff return, everybody watches the man run down the field and make the tackle, but watch number 55, Colbrand. He's got to run back, and they're giving him a man on the other side of the field to block. He's got to set up. He does a pretty good job. He grabs a jersey a little bit, maybe punches the guy in the face, but there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, this is football.
That was Ray Wallace who was in there. There's an injured Oiler down on the field. And it is Rayford Cooks on that kickoff coverage. The Saints will have it 1st and 10 on their own 25 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in the half. They lead 14-3. So right now the big play in the ball game has got to be the block punt. Gossett had his punt block. It ended up at the 6-yard line. New Orleans got it in on a 3rd down situation on a pass from Hebert 7-7. Should the Vikings drop that game today at Green Bay, and if the Saints won here today, the Saints would wrap up home field in the wild card game. From the 25-yard line, their own 25. This is Ruben Mays. Right over the 35 to the 37-yard line. The left tackle, Jim Dombrowski, got him through. Mays gets 12 yards on the play.
Stan Brock got a good block right at the point of attack against an awfully good defensive lineman, Ray Childress.
Clock running. Let's see if Hebert is a pretty good last-minute drive before the half type of
There's Ray Childress. Stan Brock just engulfs him. Stan's about 295 pounds, and there's a runner. That's good blocking. Heck with that engulfing. That's all legal. 15 yards for engulfing him.
1st and 10. They play the hot hand, Mays again, and this time the Oilers are there to make the play. Johnny Meads and Doug Smith came in, along with Richard Byrd, to tip over Mays. They got him by the ankle and knocked him down. They're checking in with a bunch of wide receivers now, and Dalton Hilliard, number 21, comes in. Mike Jones is in, Eric Martin is in, and Lonzel Hill. I'm thinking pass with all those guys checking in. 2nd down and 11, down to 2:38, and it's running here in the first half. 14-3 Saints.
Well, we know they're not going to punt.
2nd down. Quickly, Hebert unloads and a drop. Mike Jones. Hebert had to get rid of it. You know, he's taken his worst hits today just when he's released the football. They have been right on him, but he's somehow been able to get it away.
Hey, the Oilers have been getting pressure on Hebert. In fact, the Oilers have been performing, it seems, the passing game better. In fact, their offensive game better than the Saints. However, 2 big plays. The long pass against the blitz and the punt block.
3rd down and 11. And if Houston can stop this play, they'll get the ball back with plenty of time left here in the first half to try and get some more points. But it's 3rd and 11 here, so they must stop it. Are they going to blitz? Hebert fires, and it's caught. Lonzel Hill out near midfield. There's a flag down. at the Houston 42-yard line. Hebert applauding that the penalty is against Houston. They'll explain the options to him. Boy, that was a quick release to Lonzel Hill.
Illegal contact, number 29, defense, decline.
Patrick Allen.
And he's still over there debating it.
And it was on Mark Patterson that Allen had the illegal contact. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Allen's explaining to the official how he really actually made a mistake, that he really wasn't illegal in his contact, that if he would reconsider, he might make a better call. I'm sure he explained it that way, too.
14-3. Now, after that big third down play, they'll let it run down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. At halftime, we go to New York, NFL Live. Scores, highlights, commentary by Frank DeFord. Bobby Hebert on 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 48-yard line. John Tice in motion. Big rush by the Oilers. Complete to Lonzel Hill to the Houston 45-yard line. And there's a flag down on the play. Illegal motion called against the Saints.
Just a quick slant pattern. He comes up. Now it's time to break, and here comes the ball.
Number 82, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
But it all goes for naught.
John Tice is nailed for the illegal motion. 1:53 left to go in the first half. Of course, right now they have that tremendous weapon on the sideline of Morten Andersen, so they don't have to move all that far to get a field goal attempt out of him. Although he missed today from 48 yards.
Yeah.
Saints have been penalized 8 times.
Made me look bad when he missed.
Really did. 1st and 15. That's Lonzel Hill going in motion. Good scramble. Receiver went down. No flag. Robert Lyles was over there on the coverage for the Houston Oilers. Hobie Brenner tripped and went down, the tight end out of Southern Cal. So it will be 2nd down and 15.
That's extremely dangerous. I was talking earlier in the game when a receiver went up for the ball and the ball went past him. Whenever you jump for a ball or whenever a ball is coming to you as a receiver, you must make sure that the ball stops here, even if you don't catch it. I bet you 90% of interceptions actually go beyond the receiver that they're supposed to be going to. And when he fell down, if the man would have been alert standing right behind him, it would have been a touchdown.
Lonzel Hill moves in motion. Johnny Meads with the rush. The dump off to Hilliard. And he moves towards the New Orleans sideline and into Houston territory out at the 48-yard line. Dalton Hilliard makes the catch, and Eugene Seal chased him out of bounds.
Watch number 21, Hilliard here. He sets this up by blocking first, right there, and now he goes out for the pass and the screen. You see the lineman in front setting the screen up. But the reason he has to block first is because if he would immediately go out for the pass, they'd cover him. So he sets up to block, looking like a blocker, lets his man go, thinking he made a great play, and goes out.
Made a nice catch, too. Made a nice one-handed grab to pull it through.
But only gained 3 yards.
3rd down and 12. 1:40 to go in the first half. Childress, 79, moving along that offensive, or on that defensive front. Hebert fires across the middle. There's his favorite guy today, Eric Martin. And that's a Saints first down inside the 40 at the 37 of Houston.
Against man-to-man coverage, your easiest patterns to complete are a crossing pattern. Now watch Martin. He's open now, and he can keep running away from Bostic, and the ball comes in on a bullet. One thing nice about man-to-man coverage, there's no linebackers in the way to stop you from drilling the ball in on the line.
15 yards and a first down, and the Saints moving again, and there they go, 36 RUEBEN Mays. And a first down up to the 26-yard line. 13-yard pickup. Brad Edelman's got him through, number 63 with the block. And A timeout on the field with 1:03 to go in the half, and the Saints are on the day receiving the ball. Last week he did it with only 2. Today he's done it with 4, and of course we're not even at the break yet. At the half, 1:03 to go in the half. As Hebert throws. Touchdown! Lonzo Hill! 26 yards on the play, and here it is, Dave.
We've seen 2 completions that were on passes going inside, and here comes one back to the corner. You've got to wonder if McMillan wasn't looking for a post or a crossing pattern because they'd completed him. It's a heck of a good call. Show him the cross, hit him on the corner.
8 plays, 75 yards. Pretty good use of the clock. Took 3 minutes. And they now lead 20-3 with Morten Andersen awaiting the extra point attempt. Take a look at the touchdown pass from another angle. As there you see 87, Lonzo Hill, the rookie out of Washington.
Right there was the crossing pattern. McMillan sucked on it. You see, they hit that crossing pattern 2 times, and he said, "You're not going to have it again." He says, "No, I'm not. I'm going to have the corner."
And he gets in.
And the ball was right there.
I think what they're doing right now, they're checking to see if he did actually get in or did he get out of bounds before he crossed the stripe. The replay official taking a look at it, and we'll get the verdict.
By replay, the play stands.
He got in. Touchdown, Saints. Let's check it out another time. There's Hill making the catch. 26 McMillan trying to catch up. Did he get in before he went out of bounds?
Looks like it. We'll put the NBC stamp of approval on that call.
There it is. It's 21-3 Saints with 56 seconds to go here in the half. When it comes late in the half against you, you get crunched like that just before halftime, and now you're down 21-3. Does it really take your mood down a great deal? Well, I mean, is it devastating to get scored on that late?
I don't care what their mood is right now. 21-3 is approximately, in my brain, 17 points difference. That's a heck of a deal. You know, the Oilers and the Saints, play-by-play seem to be matching up well, yet the Saints are 21-3. I mean, I can't explain that to myself here. I see the Oilers blocking well, running well, but they seem to miss those opportunities, and the Saints are taking them.
Look at Cleveland way out over Cincinnati, 28-3. Coming up at halftime. Scores and highlights, so stay with us as we switch you to New York for Bob, Ahmad, Paul, and Frank coming up with 56 seconds to go. Morten Andersen tees it up here at the Superdome, where they're having a ball all season long, and this afternoon they lead 21-3 over Houston. Back deep for the Oilers is Alan Pinkett. Curtis Duncan, their rookie who normally takes back kicks, has not been today. He's been injured, and Pinkett can only do that with the ball as Andersen kicked it that deep. And you said that, Dave, a couple of times during the ball game. That's your best defense against kickoff returns, is when you kick it so darn far they can't come out with it.
You remember that softball game where only the pitcher stands on the mound and throws? You seen the movie about that? Well, Morten Andersen could just stand there and kick by himself if he kicks like that.
NBC Sports presents a Saturday football special. The Denver Broncos are driving towards the playoffs with John Elway in the driver's seat, but they can't overlook the Kansas City Chiefs. It's an AFC West battle next Saturday. It all begins with NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Your team plays here on NBC Sports. From the 20 with 56 seconds left to go, Warren Moon throws, and it's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver at the 32-yard line. Ball was intended for Drew Hill with 51 seconds remaining. Oilers have 2 timeouts left.
I'd like to digress something I saw in the kickoff. Morten Andersen ran all the way down the field, and he said something to number 57 on the Oilers, Walter Johnson, who I think is the guy that hit him. And he mentioned something to him like, "Take that." I think he ran all the way down the field and made sure that guy knew about it. In other words, you come after me again, buddy, I'm going to kick you. Boot you right through the uprights.
51 seconds left. First down. After the incompleted pass, second down and 10. Rozier's off to the left flank and appears to be yelling at the center, Jay Pennison. I don't think they got the play off in time. They didn't. All of a sudden, did you see Rozier was actually yelling towards the center?
Offense, still second down.
Many teams have gone away from the shotgun in a crowded stadium with a dome like this because you can't hear the quarterback calling the signals to the center. I was watching Miami where Dan Marino actually lets the center snap the ball when he thinks he's ready.
Second down at 15. Saints fans looking for the kill. Moon with lots of time. Fires, and it's broken up by Brett Maxey, the free safety. Good play. There he is. Almost had the interception.
That passing didn't have any good timing on it. The ball wasn't there in time. You're going to watch it. Now watch him be open.
Drew Hill.
Drew Hill right now is making his break. The ball should be there, but it's not. It takes a long time to get there because Moon was not ready to throw when he was ready to break. Miscommunication, probably because they say they haven't been practicing Moon all week.
Third down at 15. 45 seconds to go. First half, Moon yelling out. Now he'll pull back, and Rozier goes to his other side. And they snap it to Rozier. That's a direct snap to Rozier. Over the 25 to the 26-yard line, Gene Atkins put a big hit on Rozier as Rozier runs it out to the 26, and with that play anyway, they have given Jeff Gossett some room to punt. 37 seconds remaining. And New Orleans smartly calls a timeout because they'll have an opportunity to return this thing.
What's more, Warren Moon continues to go back like he's out for a pass, hoping the secondary doesn't close. This potentially is a big play. They want all the defenses to drop back as Moon fakes like he's going back for a pass. If Rozier can beat the lineman, he might have a big play.
Jeff Gossett. This is the 8th pro team that Gossett has been with, including NFL and USFL, 2 stops in Cleveland, now here with Houston. And the Houston punter of a couple of weeks ago, Lee Johnson, is now in Cleveland. So Gossett to punt. Gray to return. And this is returnable from the 22. The danger of Mel Gray. He's become instant field position. He brings them out near midfield, and Walter Johnson tripped him up. Joe Colbrand had a big block. Watch really some great artistry right here by Gray.
The key to this run is taking it right at him. He breaks through that seam, and it could have been even a bigger play again. When a whole line of cover men come at you, if you can break through 2 of them, there's nobody left.
51-yard punt, 28-yard return by that man, Mel Gray. He had punt returns last week of 80 and 50 yards. He had 130 yards in just punt return yardage last week. They could cash in again. 25 seconds left to go in the half. They already lead 21-3, and from midfield, Hebert goes to work. Screen pass. Hilliard. 3 of them out in front. Still going. And Domingo Bryant knocks him out of bounds at the 35 of Houston. Everything's working.
Great screenplay. Let me see if we can see one of the wide receivers getting a block before the linemen even get there. We see Hilliard going out the right, the lineman. There it is. Is that who
Mike
was
Jones?
that?
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones getting a block. That's very instrumental. Hilliard getting out of bounds. They're already in field goal range. I think 52 yards is a gimme this time.
Ball is at the 34-yard line. 15 yards on that screen pass from Hebert to Hilliard. Hilliard stays in there alongside Hebert. 16 seconds to go in the half. Looking towards the end zone, and it is incomplete. Audrey McMillan had good coverage on Mike Jones. After McMillan got beat on that last touchdown pass to Lonzel Hill, he stuck very close to Mike Jones. 11 seconds to go in the half. The Saints have a timeout left with the ball at the Houston 34.
Kind of runs him right out of bounds. There's nothing wrong. Mike Jones, you have to fight for a football now in the NFL like a basketball man fights for a rebound. You have to hold your position and don't let them ride you out of bounds, because they will. Just as a basketball man may ride a man out of a rebound.
Second down and 10 with 11 seconds to go in the half. Morten Andersen waiting on the sideline to try and kick a field goal if Hebert can't get it into the end zone. Whoa! And Jeff Donaldson would have been off to the races had he been able to pull that one in on his right hand. Visions of 6 points flashing through the head of Jeff Donaldson, playing with a bad knee bruise, but he almost was off and gone on this play. Look at this.
If he could have got two hands, if he would have been if he could catch the ball, he might be a receiver. Obviously, that's why he plays free safety. But coaches, day in and day out in practice, try to teach their receivers, teach their defenders how to catch the ball, how to catch the interception, because it's on a different angle than a receiver will get the ball.
7 seconds to go, and the field goal team is not on the field yet. They'll go with another play here from the 34. And they run it. Hilliard with 5, slips down. Do they get the timeout call? 2 seconds left to go. Yes, they do. What a gamble the Saints pull there.
You can go down and call timeout. You have the right, as a man on the field, not to wait to be tackled. You can go down and call timeout even though you're not tackled. That's something people may not realize.
So what he did was he picked up an extra 5 yards down to the 29-yard line. Anderson's a little bit closer. This will be the end of the half right here.
He went right to the ground and probably started calling timeout, and the official has to stop the clock because he's down. You can say, I'm down, timeout.
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. No more. Don't, because he couldn't have ran to the end zone possibly.
Right. Jerry Glanville arguing that point. There he is. He's over there arguing that point with the line judge. He said, there is exactly what you were saying.
If he had a television screen down there, we could tell him that.
So Morten Andersen is out there ready to attempt another field goal. He missed from 48 yards. So he's 0 for 1. The spot will come at the 36, so it's a 46-yard field goal for Andersen.
Well, this one's gimme.
21 out of 28 on the season. Oh, and again, he's the same spot. He's wide left. And that's the end of the half. That's been about the only downside here in the first half for the Saints, as Hansen and Andersen talk over their exchange, hold, and placement. Jerry Glanville talks over with Dick Jorgensen the quick timeout call, but then he'll have to get in that locker room and talk over a whole bunch of other problems. As the Saints, on 3 Bobby Hebert touchdown passes, 2 to Eric Martin, and 1 to Lonzel Hill, lead 21-3 as you watch the miss by Morten Andersen. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Lewis
Spears. Tony Zendejas to kick it away to Mel Gray. We get a different look at Gray now, returning a kickoff rather than a punt. He had a very good day last week against Tampa Bay doing that also. He had 203 total yards in returns when you add up the punts and kickoffs. Second half underway. Oilers trailing the Saints 21-3. This is Gray. And this is Gray. And that's Gray out to the 36-yard line. Barry Word, the fullback, gave him a good block. 38, Domingo Bryant down on the coverage. A safety normally for the Oilers on the chase team, and a 37-yard return by number 37.
Mel Gray is adding a lot to the total offense of the Saints by returning kicks. Obviously, they're also blocking. Great blocking. He gets up the 35-yard line, actually the 36-yard line. When you start the 36, you're already going to be putting pressure on the defense.
He is instant field position. We mentioned that in the first half. RUEBEN Mayes is in the backfield. Bobby Hebert at quarterback. 3 touchdown passes in the first half. He starts the second half with 3 wide receivers. goes to the far sideline for Lonzel Hill. Hill was covered by Keith Bostic. Some contact, but the ball not catchable. Thrown too far by Hebert. Bostic on the coverage, as I said, and so it's 2nd down and 10.
Interesting to come right out and throw a nice corner pattern. It's certain that the Saints aren't going to sit on their lead.
Boy, you have to be impressed with Hebert. He's been doing a sensational job this week, really leading this offense. He's in charge out there. The Cajun Cannon.
Couldn't find a better quarterback for the Saints.
2nd and 10. 2 backs in the backfield now. Barry Word is the down back. The pitch comes to Rueben Mays. The Oilers do a pretty good job of corralling him there as Patrick Allen eventually brings him down. They had him smothered there. Childress and Bird were both over there. 79 Childress, 71 Bird. And Rueben Mays, with a shake of the head, says, I just couldn't find any room on that play.
There wasn't any room. Good defense. Word missed a block as a lead back, but hey, you can't make it every play. What they have to do 3rd down is line up and just say, we're going to get the 1st down.
So it's now 3rd down and long, 3rd and 9. Jones, Martin, Hill, Patterson, they're all in there as wide receivers. As Hebert steps up and throws, and it's caught. Mark Patterson makes the catch. He's got a 1st down just inside Houston territory at the 49 with Patrick Allen on the coverage for Houston.
Ball had to be perfect to get in there. It was good coverage. I don't know whether to call this a corner or an out pattern, but Hebert throws the ball just far enough away from Allen to get in there. Ooh, nice little catch, a little deflection.
14 yards on the play. That was by far, I think, Dave, the best protection that Hebert has had on the day. A lot of times he's been throwing, and just at the point of release, he's been getting knocked down. But this time he had a chance to watch that whole play.
Good point.
1st and 10 inside the 50-yard line. Just in Houston territory, and Dalton Hilliard will get the carry. And he slants out to get about 2 yards on the play. The coverage on the play by Johnny Meads. Meads has been close to making a couple of quarterback sacks today, but Hebert has just been a fraction ahead all the time, able to pull that trigger. 13:32 to go, 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 8. From the Houston 48-yard line. Play action fake to Hilliard. There's the sack. There's the loose ball. And it's recovered by Houston. Ray Childress has it. Remember, Hebert has recovered 2 of his own fumbles earlier in the game, but the 3rd time is the lucky charm for Houston. Hebert leaves the field as the Saints turn it over, and Childress comes up with the loose ball. We have an injured player. Doug Smith is down for Houston.
This is the 3rd time that Hebert gets hit from behind. He can't see the man. Looks like
it's Smith.
Doug Smith again. He came around. He made a good pass rush. But when a quarterback is vulnerable to the fumble is when he can't see the man that's going to hit him. Boom. And that's what the Oilers need. Now they have to move the ball bit by bit to get in the end zone. Either that or Boone's got to be able to hit the wide receiver.
So in other words, just be patient. The running game has...
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By the power tool people at Black & Decker. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Back at the sold-out Superdome, and Warren Moon connects on his first offensive play of the 2nd half, and he connects with Drew Hill for a 1st down inside the New Orleans 35-yard line to the 34. All right, let's watch the offensive line coach talking to the Saints after Hebert got nailed and fumbled and coughed up the ball. Not happy.
And he's not getting any talk back either.
Clipboard down. I'll deal with you gentlemen later.
Strong letter to follow.
That's right. That was a strong 1st down play for Houston. Ball at the 34-yard line of New Orleans. Oilers try to get on the board in the way of a touchdown. They trail 21-3, but have life after the fumble recovery, and Warren Moon is looking for Ernest Gibbons. He's got him in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. What a pass play.
See, I told you they should get just bit, and go into the end zone.
2 passes, one to Hill, and then the big one. Right there, it's a 2-play drive, 49 yards, 34 of it covered there on that pass play from Moon to Gibbons in the corner of the end zone. And the second-year man out of Louisville does a great job of keeping the feet in the corner of the end zone and coming up with the 6 points. Sheds a whole new light on this game. 21-9, Gossett holding for Zendejas. Let's see if they're going to take a look now. I think we might be getting a replay on whether or not Gibbons was in. Looks like we're getting some conversation. Let's take a look at it, Dave.
Well, we know he's going to catch the ball for sure.
Dave Waymer on the coverage.
And Gibbons is using his speed. Dave Waymer's not, he's a smart coverage man. Whoa. Well, let's see that again. let's call the feet in bounds even, not even a touchdown.
1.
I would have called it in
second
bounds.
Foot didn't look like, I don't know, did he ever get that second foot down?
I believe they call it, if you jump in the air, you come down with 2 feet. If you don't jump, the next foot down is your second foot.
Okay.
That's the way I think it's called.
Waiting for the interpretation. Those gentlemen right there will make it. That gentleman hopes that it stands. Ernest Gibbons with the catch.
If it doesn't stand, tears will fall.
And again, the process of looking it over continues. Dick Jorgensen, the referee, waiting for the decision as they take a look at the Ernest Gibbons catch. No question he had the ball, but were the 2 feet in. So now we have all the participants there. We've had a look at both head coaches. Replay official. Just waiting for the decision.
Review by replay. The play stands as called. Touchdown.
Fans don't agree, but I actually do. Again, Gibbons didn't jump. And if a receiver can teach themselves not to jump for the ball, then you're not going to get the 2-foot controversy.
The extra point by Zendejas crouching over Gossett, and it's good, making it a 21-10 ball game as the Oilers get their first touchdown of the game, and Ernest Gibbons gets a handshake. All right, let's see if the Oilers can build. Ernest Gibbons ends up as a big one, albeit a controversial one. A touchdown of 34 yards, and we have another look at it.
Again, for all you youngsters watching, notice he doesn't jump for the ball. So when he catches it, there's 1 foot down, and the next foot that hit the ground was 2. Now, I realize, you know, you can't see 2 feet down, but the next foot it hits the ground after he catches the ball, if you don't jump, I think is the second foot. If you jump for the ball, you put pressure on yourself to get 2 feet in.
Now, word from the replay official is that the replay was inconclusive, so they stand by the initial call of touchdown. Mel Gray gets through one seam, and he's still going, and you really have to put him down. Can't allow him to slip through, but he's short of the 20-yard line, and someone threw a shoe out there. And it's Mel Gray. Mel Gray ended up running with 1 shoe, so that's why he was slipping around a little bit. Saints will start probably from their worst field position of the afternoon at their own 18. 22-yard return.
I've heard of tearaway jerseys, but that's a tearaway shoe. Allows you to get 5 more yards.
12:05 left, third quarter, and the Saints lead is being challenged now after they turn the ball over. Hebert fumbling on his last possession. And the Oilers putting it into the end zone. RUEBEN Mays over the 20 out to the 22-yard line, where he's covered by Richard Byrd. Eugene Seal was in on the tackle, too. There's Mel Gray. Remember, last week, over 200 yards total, and already today, those are his numbers. Second down and 6, 4 yards on the last play for RUEBEN Mays. 2 wide receivers into the lineup for the Saints, running out of the eye. Mays again. Still going, 30, and a first down with a flag down 2 back at the 26-yard line. Oilers applauding like it's going against the Saints, and it is. It is holding.
Number 23, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Fullback Buford Jordan gets caught on the hold. So the penalty marked off 10 yards makes it second down at 16. And it's back at the 16-yard line with 11:21 remaining. Boy, the Saints, Jim Mora cannot like that. 9 penalties for 88 yards.
No, it's obviously, that's close to 10 yards a penalty, which means you're pushing a lot of the 10-yarder ones. It's not the little 5 yards for offsides. It's 10 yards, which is a big mistake.
Eric Morton comes out near side. Mike Jones to the top of the screen, along with Lonzel Hill. 3 wide receivers into the lineup. Hill comes down in motion. Dalton Hilliard. Not too much. A lot of bumping and grinding there. Let's step out for an NFL Live update. We go to New York, and here's Bob Costas.
Well, Dan Marino is back on the beam. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns. Watch this one to Mark Clayton over the defensive Evan Cooper. The Marks brothers and Marino have done it today. 1 to Duper, 2 to Clayton. Dolphins 28, Eagles 10, late in the third.
Saints lead 21-10 here at the Superdome, where it's quiet really for the first time today. 3rd down and 10 after a 6-yard pickup by Dalton Hilliard on that last running play. Ball is at the 18. Hebert from the shotgun. Across the middle, he's got Mike Jones out at the 36-yard line. And a first down. You could see Jones break away from Kenny Johnson. And Audrey McMillan, 18 yards on the play.
Notice that there's no blitz. The Oilers only bring 4, and this is good protection. Hebert has not been getting protection like this so far. He's able to set up, throw it. If you get that much time to throw and your receiver runs a good route, you're going to complete the pass.
So they get out of trouble there, and the Saints continue on the march. They've had a great 3rd down conversion rate here today and big plays. Bostic looking like he's coming on a blitz. Hilliard going up the middle away from the blitz. Hilliard still going and fighting out near a first down out to the 48-yard line. Stan Brock, the right tackle, with a crunching block. Johnny Meads coming in and making the tackle. Bostic coming in from the outside on the blitz, and they ran away from the blitz.
They ran right through that line. Look at that. There's a big hole. Boom. 5'8", 204 yards. He's got a lot of power.
13 yards and a first down.
Notice how he picks his legs up and steps over people, but those are big hits.
Boy,
it's good running. I'm impressed.
He took on Jeff Donaldson hard. First down, Saints. Hilliard again. This time 1 yard. Make it 2nd down and 9. Richard Byrd on the tackle. All of these games right now, 3rd quarter, Buffalo holding on against Indianapolis. The Patriots blowing out the Jets. Miami leading over Philadelphia, as we showed you highlights from that one. Washington opening it up on Dallas. And the Browns look as though they're well on their way to going to 8-5, so the Oilers would have to match them. We told you early, Christmas came early to New Orleans in the way of this great Saints season. They're in the playoffs and looking for more. 2nd down and 9. Hilliard for the 3rd play in a row. Pushing forward down to the 47 of Houston. Tackle made by Johnny Meads again, and Eugene Seal was in there, along with Ray Childress. And the clock, using a little bit of clock here now with that running game. 7:52 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Not taking a lot of chances, making sure that there's no interception.
This is what they can do. Once they get in front of you like this, with running backs like Mays and Hilliard, they can drain a clock down with that running game.
Well, the key is they like to do that even when they're matched up even with you.
3rd down and 6. And this is where Hebert has been so effective all day on 3rd down. Is he again? You bet he is. Eric Martin inside the 35 down to the Houston 32-yard line. And another first down with Jeff Donaldson putting the wraps on Martin. Boy, are those two in sync today.
It's a matter of concentration. Now watch the release. That's getting off the line of scrimmage. You see him put the move on? That was the pattern right there. Then concentration. But a good route may not be faking a man out. His pattern was in the first steps he took. Here comes Bobby Hebert, going to drill the ball right in there. But his route was actually ran right on the line of scrimmage.
15 yards, 6:54 left, third quarter, 21-10. Saints in the lead and looking for more, trying to match the Houston touchdown that the Oilers just scored. Plenty of time. Diving catch. And again, it's Eric Morton. He simply can't be defended here this afternoon. A first down inside the Houston 20.
That's a totally different kind of a pass pattern. They're playing off him this time, so he goes down. He puts his move on downfield. You notice they're not on him on the line of scrimmage. He's going to go to the post, and let's go back to the corner. And watch him make the catch.
Oh, what a beauty. He stretched out.
Look at that protection. Lines up and drills the ball. Gets a little help from his receiver.
14-yard play. RUEBEN Mayes is the lone back in the backfield. Look at how far back Mayes is behind Hebert. So he can pitch and read. He's reading well.
Listen to that crowd. A lot of ooh in the crowd.
Chuck Comiskey with a good block along that offensive line. 66, 7 more yards for Mayes. Richard Bird on the tackle.
Just a pitch. Student body right. Line up. Every man get a man. Every good man get two. Finds that hole and keeps on running.
Trapillo 65 with a good block too. 5:31 remaining in the third quarter. Saints leading 21-10. Second down and 3. Tice in motion. Mayes again. And they stand him up at the 12-yard line and stop him there. Audrey McMillan makes the tackle along with the linebacker, 59, John Grimsley. 4:57 left, third quarter. That's the story in the game. Houston has the only point so far in the second half. It came after an Hebert fumble when he was sacked, recovered by Ray Childress. 2 plays later, Warren Moon hit Ernest Gibbons on a 34-yard touchdown pass to get the Oilers on the board to make it 21-10, but the Saints have marched all the way down the field here to the Houston 11 on third down and 3. So Mayes lost a yard on that last play. Hebert fires, almost picked off. Johnny Meads had it, and the Oilers have had a few of them today go in and out of their hands defensively.
That has been the difference of the game. The Saints have capitalized on opportunities, and the Oilers haven't.
That pass looked as though it was intended for Meads. It hit him right on the numbers.
Meads is just setting up, giving a shove to Lonzel, and boom. I mean, he had to have the invisible man suit on there. You see, Hebert couldn't have seen him.
The spot is at the 18. The kick by Morten Andersen. He's been missing left today, so he made sure that one was plenty right, and it's good. A 28-yard field goal by Andersen. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon, and the Saints answer back with a field goal to make it 20. Casper, as we await the Morten Andersen kickoff to the Saints, it's 24-10 after Andersen's 28-yard field goal. Alan Pinkett makes the catch, but didn't really have a good head of steam built up. He had to go sideways to make it, so he'll put the knee down, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 14 out of 14 from inside the 40-yard line for that man, Morten Andersen. Let's take a look at that field goal now, the last one. Here it is. Now, remember, he was missing left, so he went right this time, well right. Now, does it hit the upright? I think that's the net, don't you?
It's 3 points.
That's the bottom line. Warren Moon on first down, out of the backfield. He's got Rozier. Rozier dangerous when he gets out in the open, and that's called gang tackling right there. Boy, did they move up on Rozier. Maxey, Van Jakes, and Sam Mills after a 9-yard pickup by Rozier, making it second down and 1. Dave, that Saints drive took a lot of time away from that man's team's effort to try and get back in the game. Jerry Glanville watched the Saints move down the field with RUEBEN Mayes and Dalton Hilliard doing their stuff on first and second down, and Hebert doing his stuff on third down as Rozier gets the first down on the carry out near the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Pat Swilling and Vaughn Johnson. keeping you up to date with what's going on around the other NFL games. Third quarter scores. The Patriots punctuation point on the Jets today, 42-6. Minnesota, Green Bay with an effect on this ball game for the Saints. Cleveland, Cincinnati with an effect on this ball game for the Oilers. 10-10, Vikings and Packers. First down with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Moon fires, and a fine defensive play by Dave Waymer to step in front of Ernest Gibbons and tip the ball away. Waymer has 5 interceptions on the season. They have, what, 21 as a team? 27 as a team, I'm sorry.
Watch Waymer go around him and knock the ball down. He's got to keep his left arm off him. You see his left arm didn't grab him. They'll call the flag if his left arm grabs when his right arm goes around.
Second down at 10, 2 backs in the backfield. Moon checking off. Oh, they look a little bit fouled up on this play, but now they'll get it off. Not too fouled up, is it, as Gibbons makes the catch and gets the first down out over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Highsmith appeared to be having problems syncing up with Rozier in the backfield when Moon was checking off. Jamie Williams lifted his helmet, and it looked like it would never get off, and then it did. There's the catch by Gibbons.
Going to take it and move it out. He's a little spider. There's Jerry Glanville saying, good job.
That was really the only hit on that play. First and 10. The Oilers moving now. A pump fake by Moon. He's going to dump it off. They'll say he was in the grass. He was in the grass with Ricky Jackson. Back at the 43-yard line.
Well, it was a good idea. Obviously, they've run a couple quick patterns, but this was a case of one pump fake too many. He just didn't get it off. Ricky Jackson was in his throwing lane. They were looking for a quick. They were going to fake the quick and have the receiver go deep, but Waymer didn't go for it, and the result was a sack.
He dumped it off to the rookie Highsmith. 4 straight Pro Bowl appearances. Finally getting a lot of notoriety because of the Saints' success. A player like Ricky Jackson. A lot of people probably didn't know him around the NFL. Rozier, good run. Bounced off the first hit, goes over the 45, out to the 47-yard line with Bruce Clark, a 6-year veteran out of Penn State, making the tackle along with Brett Maxey. We're down to 2:09 left here in the third quarter, and the Saints leading 24-10. Toy Cook checks into the lineup now, 41 for the Saints, as they go with 5 defensive backs, take out a linebacker, Vaughn Johnson. 4 wide receivers in for the Oilers. On third down and 9. Big play here for Houston. Look out! Away from Swilling, but he can't get away from Tony Elliott.
All 4 receivers are running pretty deep routes. Moon needed some time to get this play off. Here comes Swilling. Just couldn't get it. Elliott finishes him off. He needed more time than that to get that pass off.
Bassett to punt, and again, he's challenged. It hits at the 30. Mel Gray. He slipped away at the 20. It snuck away. There were 4 white jerseys around him. All of a sudden, you saw this gold helmet slip out. That's how tough Mel Gray is to bring down. With 1:24 remaining here in the third quarter of play. The Saints back with the ball. Casper back at the Superdome. Sellout crowd. 6-game winning streak for New Orleans. They are leading here over Houston 24-10. As they huddle up deep in their own territory, they'll have the ball at the 20-yard line. A 43-yard punt by Jeff Gossett and a 2-yard return by Mel Gray. As Hebert with 253 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes. RUEBEN Mayes about 4 out to the 24-yard line.
That's just a big blob play. Just take all the linemen and run the defensive guys in each other and push them down the field.
William Fuller on the tackle.
Watch number 65, Tupelo, and number 67, that's Stan Brock. They're just, look what they do to Childress. Now, Childress is trying to pursue the play, but that's one thing you get. By cutting it back into the pursuit, you move the ball down the field.
Second down and 7. Under a minute to go. In the third quarter is John Tice, the tight end. Goes in motion, and now that's Mark Patterson in motion the other way. And again, the Oilers do a nice job clogging up RUEBEN Mays.
That was actually, they were caught from behind. They pulled Stan Brock on a sweep, and he actually, whoever was supposed to cut the man off, pushed Stan Brock back. Watch number 67 Stan Brock pull.
Charles Martin got in there, and he was the player that got loose.
That's right. The left guard actually has to come down and block down on him. They pull the right side of the line left. The left side of the right line goes right, and they didn't pull it off.
They did end up with a yard. Only 7 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Let's see if they get the play off on third down and 6. They would have an opportunity if they let the quarter run out to talk it over, and that's what they will do. At the end of the third quarter, the score is the New Orleans Saints 24, the Houston Oilers 10. We'll be right back after these messages, along with Dave Casper. Time of possession in the third quarter. The Oilers had the ball 3 minutes and 48 seconds, which is tough to deal with when you're trying to come from behind. The Saints had it 11 minutes and 12 seconds. We start the fourth quarter with a big 3rd and 6 play now for the Saints. So the Oilers need the ball a lot more to get back into it. And with this running game that New Orleans throws at you, it's tough to get the ball, wrestle it away from them. 3rd and 6, he's got 2 backs flanking him. Bobby Hebert in the middle, waiting for the snap out of the gun. Oh, lots of time. Buford Jordan. Would have been a good catch if he had made it out at the 25-yard line as Hebert looked off 2 receivers and then finally dumped it off in the flat to Buford Jordan. Third quarter through 3, those are the numbers.
Jim Morris said one thing he fears in this game is the big play. The Oilers have had it set up. They've capitalized only once out of maybe 4 or 5 times. And that's what scares them, because last week Vinny Testaverde came back and Tampa Bay had 447 yards against the Saints. So this game is still, could go either way.
Hansen punts it away. It's a knuckleball, but it gets a good New Orleans roll, and Kenny Johnson can only pull back and watch it inside the 20. Close to the 15-yard line.
If we flash back to the last time Gray stopped that punt, they shouldn't let it roll. Too many yards.
But a day before that, NBC Sports presents a Saturday football special. The Denver Broncos are driving for the playoffs with John Elway in the driver's seat. But they can't overlook those Kansas City Chiefs. It's an AFC West battle next Saturday, and it all begins with NFL Live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Your team plays here on NBC Sports. 1st and 10, Houston, as Rozier carries the ball and is hit by Sam Mills. Let's check in on the rest of the games going on around the NFL with our 10-minute ticker. Boy, the Bills playing well. In the Hoosier Dome, too, they're winning that game over the Colts. Patriots in the lead. The Browns way out in front of Cincinnati in Cleveland. And Green Bay has moved ahead of Minnesota 16-10. If the Vikings were to lose today and the Saints win, the Saints would wrap up a home game in the wild card game in the NFC. Second down, a delay to Rozier over the 20. Picks his way out to the 22-yard line. And the tackle made by Jim Welch. Well, as we told you, the Saints a big hit in the one-loss department and a big hit at the box office. 68,257 here today, roaring and loving what they're seeing, too, as the Saints leading 24-10 over Houston. 3rd sellout in a row.
Got a big play here. Watch, Swilling's going to have to come off the corner. You know the Oilers are going to be throwing it. They're going to put the pass rush on.
3rd down and 3. 6 defensive backs in for the Saints. The rush from both corners, and the ball is incomplete. Intended for Hayward Jeffries. Milton Mack was draped all over Jeffries, and Moon and the Oilers forced to give up the ball at a point where they need third down conversions. Gossett is in to punt. He's had one block today.
This really hurts the Oilers. They haven't been able to move the ball downfield to capture field position.
And almost got a second block. Just barely got it away. The ball hits inside the 50 at the 47.5-yard line. And look at the field position that the Saints have. Milton Mack driving in front of the foot of Jeff Gossett, a 26-yard punt.
Boy, they have really been making mistakes in the punting game. They really need help here.
Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Everything else is just a light. By Kmart, the savings place. We're proud to say you've made us America's favorite store. And by Radio Shack, the technology store.
And with 13 minutes and 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Jim Donovan and Dave Casper along with you from the Superdome, where the New Orleans Saints lead 24-10, looking for their 10th win of the season. And their 7th in a row. And they'll run the ball, and Dalton Hilliard's been a tough man to bring down. As he bounces off 2 hits, is brought down by Kenny Johnson at the Houston 45-yard line. And the clock continues to tick down. They're working it so well. 31 yards, but boy, he could have had even more. He could have had a lot less, too, because he's been stopped a number of times and then spun out of tackles. The ex-LSU Tiger, Dalton Hilliard. 2nd down and 8. 45-yard line. Again, it's Hilliard. Inside the 30. When will he go down? What a run by Hilliard. 17 yards. Jeff Donaldson drove him out of bounds.
Houston Oilers coming on a blitz. Watch all these guys coming in, thinking they're going to get a pass rush. If you split them, it's a big play. Sometimes a run against the blitz is better than a quick pass, because once you split those guys, there's nobody else downfield.
Look at the leg drive as he just kept going.
He likes to play football, I think.
28-yard line. 12-17 left in the game. And Dalton Hilliard stays right in that lineup. Buford Jordan is the fullback. Bostic running up to the line of scrimmage. He's number 25. They stay with Hilliard. That's a loose ball, and that kind of typifies the way the afternoon's gone for Houston. Patrick Allen not able to scoop it up. Getting up slowly is Doug Smith. Hilliard lucky to be remaining out on the field. So the ball after the hit, watch it right here. Here's Donaldson. And then Eugene Seals' hit is the one that forced the ball loose. Second down and 4.
Interesting way to gain 6 yards, I'd say.
Ball inside the 25-yard line, close to the 22. Javier Bear, 3 touchdown passes on the day, all of them in the first half. On 2nd and 4, Buford Jordan. Fumbles the ball, but they say he was down. Audrey McMillan came up with the ball, but they say Jordan was down at the 19-yard line. All right, and there they tell you that he was down. Buffalo now leading over Indianapolis 20-3. You like the Bills, don't you? You saw them last week.
Very good team. The Bills remind me a lot of the Saints. Both teams play what I call a good, solid offense that doesn't make mistakes, and they have a good defense that keeps them in the game. In other words, they let the other team beat themselves.
Green Bay has beaten Minnesota 16-10. When they flash that score up to the Superdome crowd, they will react. 11:25 left to go. Again, the Packers tip over the Vikings 16-10 as Jordan tries for the first down, 3rd down and 1, and we'll see if they give it to him.
They gave it to him.
Tackle made by Jeff Donaldson. All right, it's just inside the 18-yard line. First down, Saints.
And the clock is ticking and talking.
Hebert looking over to the sideline, picking up his assignment. Plays are flashed into him from the Saints bench. Seeing more Hilliard now than we are Rueben Mays. And Hilliard remains in the Saints backfield, the lone back behind Hebert on a 1st and 10, fresh set of downs with Tice in motion. Ooh, boy, he had his face ripped around the 15-yard line, and there's a flag down. He ends up helmetless, Dalton Hilliard.
And he doesn't look like he's too happy. He doesn't look too good. I think the officials are just discussing just how bad was that face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, 79 White, half the distance to the goal line.
Pretty bad.
First down.
It's on Ray Childress.
They gave him a big penalty for half the distance, so it's more than incidental. Number 79, just outside the right part of your screen. Watch his left arm reach in there, right there, and ow. Excuse me.
Whew.
There he is, Hilliard over on the sideline getting attention. Boy, that was snapped around.
That hurts, because it's happened to a lot of people who played on the field, and you know exactly how bad. When I see that happen, I mean, my neck starts to act funny.
The ball is inside the 10, 1st and goal from the 7. Now Rueben Mays is back in there. Mays and Jordan make up the backfield. Jordan, the fullback, on 1st and goal. Rueben Mays, 1 yard. Robert Lyles, 93. Charles Martin, 94, in there for Doug Smith at nose tackle. In on the stop. Under 10 minutes remaining, and under that, left in the ball game. John Grimsley was also there.
Well, you can tell the difference in the sidelines. The Oilers just have to stand and watch. I'm sure they feel helpless. There's nobody moving on their sideline. Well, the Saints have a lot of guys crowded around their coats. They seem to be into this, but the Oilers just seem to be standing and watching.
The Green Bay score has been related to the crowd, but I think they're very, very concerned here about the Saints getting this one in on the 3rd down play. And boy, did Robert Lyles make a heck of a defensive play, trapping Rueben Mays in the backfield. Dropping him for a loss back beyond the 10-yard line, back to about the 13. Fine play by Robert Lyles, 93.
All right, standing up on the left side, number 93, Robert Lyles. John Tice was coming in motion, was supposed to pin him in, but he went in motion outside of him too far, and he ran up inside.
3rd down and 12 now.
There he's already penetrated past number 82, John Tice. It's very difficult to come in motion across the backfield and make a block.
Hebert has 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen, and Eric Martin is out on the top of the screen. Remember, he's been hooking up with Martin all game long. Time, a deflected ball, but still it's caught. And then a fumble by Mike Jones. The Oilers overrun it. And let's see who has the ball out at the 16-yard line. Here it is again.
You're going to see a lot of protection, but nobody's getting open. The Oilers are obviously covering every man available. There's Mike Jones with the ball. Now he's trying to figure out a way to make yardage, and that's what happens. Sometimes it's best just to give it up and catch a field goal.
Robert Lyles, number 93, had a pretty good chance to take it and go, but he couldn't come up with the ball. He did last week against San Diego, but not today. Minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the game. Jim Donovan and Dave Casper at the Superdome. Do the Oilers have a run left in them?
The Oilers have a lot left in them because last week Tampa Bay took the ball in this situation. Vinny Testaverde scored a couple quick touchdowns. Jim Mora knows that. He's afraid of big play.
And he was worried about that big second half that Tampa Bay had against his team last week, when it really appeared as though they might have lacked the killer's knockout punch. So Warren Moon and the Oilers, after a fumble recovery, get the ball back and out of the shotgun. Here goes Moon. Lots of time. Rifles it down the middle and a good catch.
Lots of time is right. That's a good point because those are deep routes. They need good protection, and that's what he got.
Willie Drury on the grab. Out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. A 20-yard pass play and a first down. Johnny Poe made the tackle. 8:09 left. Moon brings them out. 4 wide receivers. 3 of them on one side to the top of your screen. Jeffries, the rookie, is the lone wide receiver down at the bottom of the screen as Moon goes back to work. Flag is down at the midfield stripe. Drew Hill was the intended receiver, and Van Jakes was on him. Let's see if that's where the contact was made.
I think the contact's going to be an illegal bump downfield. Defensive holding, the same difference. There was a lot of contact with another receiver.
Holding, number 44, defense, automatic first down.
They get Waymer on the penalty. Automatic first down, brings the ball out over the 40-yard line, close to the 42. And right now we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WDSU, TV6, New Orleans' first television station.
Automatic first down for Houston with 7:51 left in the game. 24-10, Saints lead over the Oilers. Moon rolling. Moon throwing. And a fine grab down near the 10-yard line by Drew Hill. Pretty pass play all the way around.
That's the big play capabilities we were talking about. There's enough talent on this field really to pull off a play like that at any time.
50-yard hookup.
Warren Moon could throw the ball long. 50 yards, beautiful spiral. And watch this catch. If he could have somehow kept running, he'd be in the end zone. It's very difficult, but a lot of receivers really work at how to reach out without jumping for the ball and keep their stride in order so they can continue to run.
A good day for Hill. First and goal inside the 10. Now under 7 minutes to go in the game. And Rozier gets down near the 6 with Jim Wilkes. The right defensive end tackling. And Vaughn Johnson was there too. All fourth quarter scores. Buffalo appears victorious. Patriots and Dolphins on their way to wins today. And that one final score, Cincinnati has made a bit of a run now at Cleveland in the fourth quarter. But that one final score, Green Bay beats Minnesota 16-10. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. Moon faked. Oh, look at the time. He throws, and it is caught. He hasn't pulled the ball across the end line yet, though. His feet were in, it looked like. Gibbons made the catch right on the stripe, but the ball was outside the end zone.
And it still is outside the end zone.
Yeah, he didn't pull it across.
When he went down, there was a man touching him down. The ball will never get into the end zone.
Looks like Dick Jorgensen will make an announcement.
Gibbons, he comes back to the ball. Now watch. Now, that ball's a touchdown. He caught it in the end zone and brought it back out. That ball was a touchdown. He caught the ball. That ball was caught in the end zone and he brought it out. It's a touchdown. Now you watch. He's going to catch the ball. It's in the end zone right now. He brings it back out. That's a touchdown.
Well, they didn't give it to him.
Well, they were wrong. Once the ball crosses the plane, it's over. Play's gone. Touchdown.
Third down and goal from the 1. Maybe they are going to take a look at this. I'll tell you, the only thing, if they do reverse it, but I'll tell you, David, if they do take a look at this, they've lost some time off that clock while they were waiting to take a look at this thing. I mean, they lost a good 15 seconds, it appears, off the clock.
Well, I personally don't like the replay because I like to yell at officials. And now you got to yell at a camera. You know, you're going to sit there and yell at it claiming it's out of focus or something.
All right, pick it up. There it is.
Well, it's tough to see from here, but he's in the end zone right now. It's caught. He brings it back out. I think it's a touchdown. Doesn't make any difference what part of his body, where his body was, anything. If the ball was across the plane of that wide stripe and he had it in possession, The play is over. He can run back out as far as he wants, but the play was dead once he caught the ball in the end zone.
Now remember, their first touchdown from Moon to Gibbons went to replay too.
The only way they could get out of it is saying it's inconclusive, but let's put it this way. If they would have called a touchdown on the play, then they would not have overruled it. It's got to be conclusive evidence to overrule it.
Gibbons on Jakes.
Correct.
81, Gibbons will shake loose. He sees Moon in trouble.
Now,
he has two receivers there. He's got it right there.
It's in the end zone. It broke the plane. This possibly could sell more hot dogs, though. Fans have time to go up and get an extra drink or a...
It's a very, very big call here because they'll be right smack back in the game. Do we have a decision?
After review by replay, the play stands as called.
Right.
Third down, 1 foot line.
Well, then why do they review it? I mean, if they don't have what it takes to reverse the call, why review it?
So it's third down and goal, and Jerry Glanville totally steamed about the call. They got to get it in right here. Third and goal out of the I formation. And a fumble. Rozier got hit. And Moon picks it up inside the 5-yard line. That's how big that replay call was. It will be fourth down, and they have to go for the touchdown with 5:33 left. Rozier really got rocked once he hit the line of scrimmage.
Number 51, Sam Mills. He's 5'9". He puts the helmet on the ball. That's what coaches teach.
Number 32, Highsmith, never got his block because when he was going to block, Colbrand knocked him off his feet.
You know, going back, if they're not going to overturn a call with replays, why make everybody wait for him? Why not just say the official call stands and get the cameras out of the stadium?
Fourth down and goal. Listen to this place. They won't get in. Jeffries made the catch. And the Saints hold the Oilers without points.
Jerry Glanville better start coaching his own team instead of the officials, though. I mean, it's okay for us to yell at the officials, but Jerry Glanville's got to pay attention to his team.
All right, here's the fourth down play. Fourth and goal. Remember, they got to get it in.
That ball obviously never made it in. Trying to lateral it. It's a good idea because it didn't do any good to keep possession of the ball unless you get it in the end zone. But I believe in this situation, under the rules as they are, the Oilers got the short end of the stick.
5:09 left. A big defensive stand there by the Saints on a fourth down play. They'll try and run it out, and Hilliard gets 2 yards as he trips out to the 3. And we have an Oiler grabbing his ankle. And I believe it's John Grimsley. Grimsley has had an ankle problem for the last couple of weeks. 24-10 Saints. It's been a patched-up Houston defense coming into this game. Doug Smith has been in and out of the lineup all afternoon long. And here's the second player injured, John Grimsley, who plays so well against the run for the Oilers. And they both walk off. 4:58, the clock running left in the ball game. 24-10, the Saints over the Oilers. And we'll go back to that third down pass play to Ernest Gibbons. Right on the end line. Replay used, and they said he did not get in across the line with the ball for the touchdown. They went on fourth down and were not able to get it in. Hilliard with a head of steam out over the 5 to the 7. Audrey Audrey McMillan in on the tackle, along with Al Smith. This is the way it's gone for the Saints. The big win over Pittsburgh with a couple of emotional goal line stands to win that game. When they beat Tampa Bay last week, 9th win of the season, wrapped up a playoff spot. And it continues here today. Hilliard, and some more Hilliard. And a first down. Audrey McMillan went for the ride because Hilliard was pulling Oilers along with him for 12 yards.
That's a good point. The Saints are playing charged-up football. One thing to remember here, the controversy over the replay took away the point that the Saints had one heck of a goal line stand. I mean, the Oilers didn't get the call, but the Saints still made the plays, and now they've come back out from inside their own 5-yard line, inside their 1-yard line, and get a first down. And that's what you call playing when you have to.
In the AFC Central Division, the Browns were way out in front of Cincinnati in Cleveland. But now, as you saw on our 10-minute ticker, it's 35-24. Cleveland's lead is cut to 11 in the fourth quarter. Green Bay has already beaten Minnesota 16-10. Houston used a timeout after that run by Hilliard. Now, the Who Dat cheer is going on, so maybe we could listen to that. This crowd in the festive mood. Listen. Who Dat? Going to beat the Saints? Not many have. 9-3 coming into this game. 341 away from their 7th win in a row, 10th of the season, and they still feel they got a crack at San Francisco in the West.
Well, they certainly do.
As for the Oilers, if they're not successful here this afternoon, and down by 14 points, it's starting to look a little slim for them. They finish out at home this season against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. 1st and 10. Hebert to the man, Hilliard, and he's got a big chunk of real estate out over the 30. And another first down. He ran to the tight end side. Hobie Brenner, number 85, gave him a fine block. 14 yards, 3:32 left in the game.
That statistic was interesting. Bobby Hebert has 254 yards right now. His biggest game ever is 255. You know, what he does do is not make a mistake. He's only thrown 8 interceptions, thrown for 11 touchdowns. The Saints don't beat themselves.
Over there talking is head coach Jim Mora with the headset on. Mora, an incredible job turning this team around. You could sense last year they were playing so much better football. Here's Warren Moon with the fake and the pass and the catch by Gibbons. Is he in?
All it has to do is break that white line. Here's the deal with me. Here's my objection. If it's got to be so conclusive as to overturn the official's call, he wouldn't have made that call anyway.
Now, let me ask you, did the ball break the plane, or his feet are definitely in?
I think the ball broke the plane by at least a foot.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't that close. In my opinion, it was conclusive evidence. And the second point of it is, if it has to be that conclusive, like a yard, no official would have blown the call.
Replay officials have stated that there was a little bit of juggling they felt by Gibbons, and he didn't have control maybe when he was across the white line going in for the touchdown. By the time he had control, they feel that he was not across, as Hilliard running left. Ray Childress, number 79 for the Oilers, motioning for a timeout, and they'll be down to 1 left with 3:27 left in the game.
Well, the replay officials are entitled to their opinion, too. After all, they do run the show. I disagree.
Let me correct that. Now the Oilers are out of timeouts. One of the Saints getting up a little slow. You talk so many times It is Hobie Brenner right there, the tight end. You talk about Rueben Mays, and you think of him as the big rusher. And why not? He rushed for over 1,300 yards last year, but Hilliard's had the big day today with 91 yards rushing. That's a nice 1-2 punch to have.
Or in case of Hilliard, a 2-1 punch.
Right. 17 rushes, 91 yards on the day for Dalton Hilliard.
Tough yards, too. Tough yards.
You know, they've done just about anything that they had to do today. When they had to pass, they were very successful. When they've had to run, they've been very successful, be it that they might have to come out from deep in their own territory, or they want a ball-controlled drive. They've been able to do that. They've done a perfect job offensively.
I think the point you make when you say when they had to do it, they did it. You're right. When they had to do it, they were able to do it.
2nd down and 7. Pattison comes down the line in motion. Ray Childress on the hit of Hilliard out over the 35-yard line. Oilers cannot stop the clock. The only time that the clock will stop for them now is on the 2-minute warning. Or, as you see right here, a player down getting up slowly. And it's Grimsley. Grimsley, as I said, has been playing injured since the Cleveland game 3 weeks ago. And that was a game that crippled the Oilers. They lost a number of players in that game.
Oilers have definitely had injuries recently. I still think they had a chance to win this game. I think they showed some skill, showed some strength, certainly, in the offensive line and some ability to run the ball. Again, you made the point. It seems the Saints can make the plays when they have to.
So again, Grimsley will come off the field. It's just amazing, really, that he's even playing. All right, that's what's left for the Oilers, both in the Astrodome. As a matter of fact, Dave, I think they've played their last 6 or 7 games inside domes. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. The Steelers, incidentally, they are part of that 3-way tie coming into today's action, are playing this afternoon out in San Diego. And that's what's left for the Saints at Cincinnati and Green Bay right here at the Superdome. And Green Bay did them a favor today when they knocked off the Vikings, 16-10.
I think the Saints I'm really even concerned about the Vikings, though, that they're looking to win the division and try and get some home field advantage.
All the way through, right?
Correct.
It would be very tough in here to beat in the playoffs. They played very well here. It is 3rd down and 7. They'll stay on the ground, and they'll be forced to punt. Robert Lyles mixing it up with 82 John Tice.
A little bit of frustration.
But it was Childress and Bird who made the tackle on Hilliard with 2:29 and the clock running down. They'll probably take this one right down to the 2-minute warning before they punt it. Brian Hansen into punt. Kenny Johnson will drop back deep. There's Hansen. He has a 60-yarder today. And there is 22 Johnson. If he gets to return the ball, you'll probably see him head right to the sideline. But before that, it's the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the ball game, and the Saints, with 2 minutes to go in the game, the Oilers have no timeouts. They face Saints punt now, and they trail the New Orleans Saints 24-10. That's Brian Hansen. Back to punt it away. Johnson moves up now for the Oilers. I think he's trying to. I don't think they had enough players out on the field. That's what happened. They only had 10, and they send out Alan Pinkett now off the Houston bench. So they only had 10 men on the field. Johnson was counting, and he ran up to the line of scrimmage to count how many teammates he had, and then yelled over to the Oiler bench to get another player out there, and they sent out Alan Pinkett. Now Now we're ready to go. They go for the block and don't get it. Johnson, no fair catch, and pays for it out to the 34-yard line. Buford Jordan down on the chase team, along with 55, Joe Colbrand, and also Johnny Poe. They were all there on Johnson. 1:49 left in the game. 24-10, Saints over the Oilers. And how big that play at the end zone looks now.
It certainly was big, but that play cannot diminish what these ball players have done over the course of the entire game.
All right, report card time for the Oilers. Rozier, 91 yards rushing. Moon, that kind of day, passing. And Drew Hill with a big catch for 50 yards and 4 on the day. 1:49 left, no timeouts, and trailing by 14. Moon, let's see what he can do. That's caught by Gibbons, but you got to get to the sideline. He's trying to, but doesn't. And the clock keeps on running with Milton Mack making the stop. And let's see if the Saints get passing grades today. Hebert with a big day, 3 touchdown passes, all in the first half. Dalton Hilliard with the rushing day. Martin with 6 catches. And the special teams play. The pass, the stretch out, they try it, and they say he caught it. Willie Drury with the acrobatic catch. Remember, they ruled him out of bounds earlier in the game, but they give him this one. 1:16 left. And the ball inside Saints territory at the 42. Let's watch 82 Willie Drury.
Looks good enough to me. Heck of a catch, a heck of a catch.
A lot of close calls on that sideline.
Well, I think the first one he was more in than that, and they called him out.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think the first one was more conclusive. 1:15 left. Warren Moon needs a big, big play. He's shooting it, but it is out of the end zone for Drew Hill. I think one of those mounted policemen could have made that catch better than Hill.
Got to build a bigger stadium to catch that ball.
Yeah. 1:08 remaining now, and it will be 2nd down and 10. Drew Hill was open. He had the back line, but the ball was delivered too far. So it's 2nd and 10. Again, Houston with no timeouts. 3 wideouts to the top. Moon throwing. Oh, and he had Haywood Jeffries wide open at the 5-yard line. Stretched out and couldn't pull it in. How did he sneak through there with all those defensive backs? He was wide open. 6 backs back there. And watch 84.
Well, there's 3 backs deep in the zone, and he's going to split the seam, which is in between 2 of them. Now, if I can criticize, it's a tough pass, but Haywood Jeffries put his hands out too soon. You have to keep your stride and a sprinter's stride to the last minute and then reach out, or else you slow yourself down, and that 1 foot may make the difference of a reception.
So the rookie from North Carolina State could not bring it in. And it's 3rd and 10 with 1:03 left. Watch out for Swilling from the outside. Roziers, he has the first down, and he's still on his feet, down to the 20, down to the 19-yard line, and a nice play by the Oilers, but they'll have to unstack in a hurry and get it back up to the line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line, and the Saints are in no rush. You bet it's the hurry-up offense right now, under 40 seconds. 1st and 10. Moon dumps it, and you can do that. That is not grounding. You can throw it down like that.
As long as it's directed toward the sideline, but you better not direct it downfield too much.
That stops the clock with 34 seconds left in the game. Down by 14. Saints lead 24-10. Led 21-3 at the half. Houston came back to make it 21-10. Then a field goal by Morten Andersen, and that has been it. The rifle shot to Gibbons, but he's surrounded inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. Ricky Jackson on the tackle, along with Brett Maxey and Gene Atkins. Now we have 18 seconds left. Moon back, throwing. Boy, that was almost picked off by Dave Waymer as Willie Drury looked the other way. And now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, Eric Morton from the New Orleans Saints. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. Eric Morton with 6 catches and 2 touchdowns.
50 yards of that 1 touchdown was all on his own, too. Great run.
11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Listen to the crowd and watch Warren Moon on 2nd down from the 7. Too tall for Drew Hill. And 6 seconds remain.
They may score here, but you need a 2-for-1 sale to tie the score of the game.
Right.
Maybe they have a special down here in New Orleans at Christmas. 2 touchdowns for 1.
I think in the old days of the Saints, teams would have been able to pull this off. They seem to lose in every way, but not this team.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is really a key point. The Saints used to make the mistakes, and now they don't.
3rd down and goal from the 7. Knocked away by Johnny Poe. And that's the ball game. And that's a very proud owner, Tom Benson, with Coach Jim Mora. I'll talk to you in the locker room, Mr. Benson. And the Benson Boogie is about to begin here in the Superdome as the Saints make it 7 in a row, 24-10 over the Oilers. Jerry Glanville, and now ready to dance. And they've been doing a lot of dancing here. They dance a lot better than Mr. Benson.
Yes, I'm sure the crowd might want to watch them a little bit more than Mr. Benson too, but I bet you Mr. Benson has more fun.
Once again, the final score, the New Orleans Saints 24 and the Houston Oilers 10. Party time here in the Super.